It's Friday, February the 6th. Today, a guilty verdict in the fatal beating of a restaurant owner. Reaction from the family of the victim and why the judge rejected the accused's claim of self-defense. Also today, special security officers on the way, why Manitoba Hydro is tightening up safety at its downtown headquarters. Plus, making history in the skies, we catch up with the First Nations' first ever female pilot. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Friday. We've arrived to the end of the week. We are here and we are so glad, but it's also a big night in sports today. Of course, the Winter Olympics are kicking off with the opening ceremony this evening. And so Ainsley McPhail is going to break it down for us a little bit on what it means for Manitobans, what we can expect to see when it comes to some Manitoba athletes that are competing. We're going to have details from her throughout the morning. But the weather, it's messy out there.
Oh my goodness, but it was so beautiful yesterday. I mean, don't get me wrong, it was messy. It was so very messy, but so very mild. And I think a lot of people really appreciated that break. It's no longer the case. You're going to step outside this morning and notice it's feeling a little bit cooler, and we'll get even cooler yet. So minus 11 is where we're currently sitting right now. Feels like minus 20. There's a bit of a breeze out of the north, 22 kilometers per hour. The pressure rising and the humidity is sitting at 75%. We're going to be seeing just a few clouds today, but overall they'll be clearing out. Plenty of sunshine is expected. But as cool as it might be right now, it's about to get cooler throughout the day today because these temperatures, they're only going to drop off another few degrees. Now, it doesn't mean that we're not going to enjoy some warmer weather, because still for the weekend, mercury will be ramping right back up again. But throughout the day today, as it clears, yes, it is going to be cooling down. And that'll be the case for a lot of us today, ending up below seasonal, mid to high minus teens. But then, as we're looking overnight, some heavier clouds are moving back again. Some places will even be dealing with some flurries through central and parts of northern Manitoba. We'll have those heavier clouds lasting right on into the weekend. We might see some scattered flurries later into the weekend, but the mild temperatures will be back as well. So today, yes, the mercury will be falling down to about minus 16. So that'll be a cool and below seasonal day, dropping off to minus 18 overnight, then rising to minus 5 tomorrow. Mild and above seasonal temperatures. We will have those heavier clouds lasting by about the middle of next week, still above seasonal, and we'll start to see a little bit of sunshine.
Thank you, Terry. A dangerous person alert lit up cell phones across the province Thursday morning after a woman was abducted from a northern First Nation, and Mounties are still searching for the suspect. Cross Lake RCMP officers were called to a home in Pimicikamak Cree Nation around 5:40 Thursday morning. Police allege 39-year-old Joshua Papanikis entered the home and attacked a resident with a hammer before abducting 20-year-old Rianne Thomas at knife point. Police confirm Papanikis and Thomas are known to each other and consider this to be an act of intimate partner violence, adding Thomas is in immediate danger. Additional officers from Winnipeg are assisting in the search, going door to door in the community. While the search is focused in the Pimicikamak area, police say it is possible Papanikis has fled the area. Mounties warn Papanikis is likely armed and dangerous and should not be approached. Anyone who sees him or Thomas is asked to call RCMP at 204-676-2600. It took more than 2 years, but the family of a Winnipeg restaurant owner killed following a violent confrontation outside his restaurant says justice has been served. On Thursday, a judge handed down a guilty verdict for the killing of Kyriakos Voyajakis. CTV's Joseph Bernacki was in court and has the details on the judge's ruling.
Today, the courts finally stood up for a family, finally made a decision that was right in my mind, in my heart.
More than 2 years to the day after his younger brother Kyriakos was murdered, Michael Voyajakis says he can finally grieve his death after his killer was found guilty of manslaughter.
2 years has been a 2-year struggle, a 2-year grief that continues every single day where there's no closure.
Curtis Ross Dalabozic and Kyriakos Voyajakis came to blows in the early evening of January 24th, 2024. Justice Sadie Bond wrote that security camera footage obtained from the restaurant was the key piece of evidence that led to the guilty verdict. She wrote Voyajakis may have started the fight, but by the end of the tape, he is on the ground and Dalabozic continues to beat him. The threat of force diminished as Mr. Dalabozic held Mr. Voyajakis down and continued to assault him. Mr. Dalabozic's application of force became disproportionate to the diminished threat posed by Mr. Voyajakis and therefore was not reasonable. Court heard that a medical report found blunt force trauma, broken ribs, and asphyxiation led to the heart attack which killed Voyajakis. His brother spoke to reporters outside the courtroom Thursday.
This court decision doesn't bring Kyriakis back, but it brings us a little bit of closure and a little bit of faith in a system that I think is broken.
Justice Bond also found Dalabozic guilty on a single charge of uttering threats. That's related to a Cork and Flame employee named Shanice Powell, who arrived on scene to check on her boss back in 2024. Bond says, according to Powell's testimony during Dalabozic's trial, he swore at her, saying, "I know where you work. I'll lay you down too." For Michael Voyajakis, the verdict brings a small amount of comfort for his family.
My poor mom, who's 80, has to live with this every day of the week, knowing that her son is dead.
Joseph Bernanke, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Dalabozic's lawyer declined to comment on the decision, saying the matter is still before the courts. Sentencing is expected to begin sometime in April. A corruption investigation that led to the arrest of 7 Toronto police officers is being called a painful moment for the force.
This is a painful and unsettling moment. It needs to be addressed openly, and it needs to be addressed honestly.
This all started with an investigation by York Regional Police into an attempted murder at the home of a corrections officer. It's alleged the suspects in this crime leaked personal information by one of the accused officers. Police say this was one of several instances of the accused officers accessing personal information. That information was then passed on to people who carried out crimes like shootings, extortions, and robberies. Toronto's mayor is demanding accountability.
Any police officer that is found to have committed crimes will be punished. Any officer working with organized crime deserves to be thrown in jail.
7 active officers and 1 retired officer are among 27 people charged as part of this investigation. The Office of the Inspector General of Policing in Ontario is now considering a request to review the case. A local advocacy group is calling on the government to create a new funding stream to help women and gender-diverse people secure a place to live. The Right to Housing Coalition says women and gender-diverse people face unique challenges when it comes to housing due to lower incomes and discrimination in the rental market, which is why it says the province should set up a fund to encourage new social housing, offer subsidies to keep rent affordable, and fund other tenant supports.
So there is funding for social housing, but we're asking to streamline the funding specifically for women and gender diverse folks so that they're not left behind, so there's not a struggle for these folks to compete within those housing markets or social housing markets to find a safe place to stay.
In a statement to CTV News, a spokesperson for the province says in part, quote, "Our government is committed to removing barriers to safe and dignified housing, particularly for those who already face increased risks of housing insecurity, such as women and gender diverse people. That's why we're funding projects that provide transitional and supportive housing for Indigenous women and children in Manitoba that are experiencing or are at the risk of experiencing homelessness." This week, Mayor Scott Gillingham has been in Ottawa meeting with his counterparts from other big cities. On Wednesday, he had a chance to sit down with Prime Minister Mark Carney.
The top priorities in Winnipeg, for sure, are the need to get federal funding commitments to fund the North End sewage plant, the 3rd phase of that plant. We don't have a federal commitment on that 3rd phase yet, and we need that. And we need the money to flow as quickly as possible.
Gillingham says topics of conversation ranged from infrastructure funding to bail reform and public safety. A record-breaking 150 dogs from shelters littered across the U.S. and the British Virgin Islands will compete in the 22nd annual Puppy Bowl on Super Bowl Sunday.
Down at the fluff end zone, Oscar is, well, I'm not sure what he's doing.
The annual event aims to promote pet adoption with adoption stories intertwined with a little friendly competition. And new this year will be a special halftime exhibition game featuring 15 senior dogs. Team Oldies versus Team Goldies. Here's a look at what's happening right now in traffic along Portage at Polo Park. Looks like things are moving well to start off this Friday morning. It is a little slick and wet out there, though, so keep that in mind as you head out. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at Sport Manitoba this morning. It's a big day and a couple big weeks coming up for sports, and not just here, but all over the world. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. What an exciting time to be talking all things Olympics. Over 200 athletes representing Canada, 4 individuals representing our home province, and communities throughout Manitoba celebrating as well. And it's not just the people representing their sport on the ice, it's people behind the scenes too. There's somebody even in ice maintenance, so I should say I guess they're kind of on the ice as well. Throughout the morning, we're going to be learning a little bit about that history, and we're going to get into the mind of an athlete too. So part of that is sports psychology. We're going to talk a little bit about their regimen, including their water intake. Of course, all of us should stay hydrated. I'm even told they're going to try, and I'm not sure how to adequately explain this, Rochelle, but they're going to try and see if I'm properly hydrated using liquids.
Okay. That'll be fun to watch.
There's going to be a display. That's what I'm told.
All right. Can't wait to find out more. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's a beautiful day yesterday. Everything was melting. It felt spring-like.
It did feel spring-like. Puts a little bit of hope in our hearts. No, that's not the case this morning. Things are feeling pretty chilly out here, mostly because of the breeze. That's what I'm noticing has that extra bite. The temperature itself is -12. Feels though like -23 with a 32 wind out of the northwest, or pardon me, out of the northeast right now. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 73%. We will be seeing some sunshine today, so there's a little bit of good news for us. But as far as the temperatures go, no, it's chilly right now. I mean, we're still above seasonal. Don't get me wrong. -20 would be a normal low. -10 would be a normal daytime high, so we have slipped a little bit below that, but I mean, that's a normal daytime high. Thing is, we're going to continue to watch those temperatures drop off another few degrees as the day goes on, ending up in the mid to high -teens today, so it will be cooling down. It'll look good. Plenty of sunshine expected for us today. However, we're going to then see some clouds moving in overnight and sticking around throughout the weekend. But the weekend will come with much milder temperatures. Maybe not lighter winds, though. The winds are going to get strong today out of the north, then they're going to be shifting out of the south, and still a very strong south wind is expected for tomorrow. But we will notice those temperatures on the rise to above seasonal values for the weekend and much of next week. We're taking a break. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
Good morning. A Winnipeg officer who was at the scene of the fatal police shooting of a 16-year-old First Nations girl thought his life was in danger. Constable Serge Sylvestre told an inquest into the death of Aisha Hudson he was standing near the stolen Jeep she was driving when his partner fired the first shot. Sylvestre says he tried to apprehend the driver, but feared he would be hit when the vehicle started moving backward in his direction. Hudson was killed in 2020 after the vehicle she was driving was involved in a liquor store robbery and police chase. The inquest, which started Monday, is looking at whether systemic racism played a role in the death and whether the use of force was appropriate. Manitoba Hydro is hiring 3 institutional safety officers. They'll start training next week and will be stationed at the Crown Corporation's downtown headquarters. The announcement comes after an employee was assaulted by a suspect with a knife last Friday. But as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, Hydro and the province say the move was well underway before the shocking incident.
Manitoba Hydro has announced some security upgrades for their downtown headquarters building following the assault of an employee in the public atrium.
This was a shocking event, that an act of violence like that right in what is essentially our workplace.
3 institutional safety officers are being hired and will start training next week to work at Hydro's HQ. Security guards are already stationed in the atrium. The ISOs have specialized training and carry handcuffs and pepper gel.
They have defensive weapons, and they have the authority and the ability to safely effect an arrest if necessary, whatever is necessary to maintain a safe situation.
This comes after a Hydro employee was assaulted by a man with a knife last Friday while leaving work. But the Crown Corporation and the province say the move to expand the safety officer program to Hydro was already in the works. A January 14th regulatory change allowed for the move. In previous years, ISOs started patrolling at the University of Manitoba and Health Sciences Centre. Beyond the 3 officers here at Hydro, there is also a plan to have more in place at other facilities to protect hydro infrastructure. Manitoba Justice has been in continual conversations across Manitoba around ways to expand the safety officer programs, said a spokesperson for the Justice Minister.
We support the rollout, starting with the 3 officers at Manitoba Hydro, but I know it is successful, in HSC.
And because of the assault, Hydro has locked the doors to the public at Manitoba Hydro Place for now, while it looks at other security changes to the building's layout.
When this building initially opened, this was intended as a public space, and it's operated as a public space for years. So we want to return to that to whatever extent is possible without compromising safety.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
To some developing news now surrounding the truck driver involved in the tragic 2018 Humboldt Broncos bus crash. A lawyer for Jazz Kirat Sidhu says the Immigration and Refugee Board has rejected his client's bid to stay in Canada as a refugee. That puts Sidhu one step closer to being deported. Sidhu was behind the wheel of a semi-trailer in Saskatchewan in April of 2018 that collided with a bus carrying the Humboldt Broncos hockey team. 16 people were killed in the crash, over a dozen others injured. A plan to create an all-season road linking 3 Northern First Nations communities is one step closer to reality. An assessment by the federal government has concluded the proposed 141-kilometer road linking Manto-Sipi Cree Nation, Bonnie-Bonnie-Bee Cree Nation, and God's Lake First Nation is not likely to significantly disrupt the environment. That's if the project properly follows mitigation guidelines. Some of those measures include minimizing emissions and noise, managing any changes to water quality, and protecting species such as birds and fish. The feds note the project would be subject to oversight, and any proposed changes would need to be submitted and reviewed. A woman from Opaskwayak Cree Nation is ready for takeoff.
There's no other feeling in the world when you accomplish your dream, and I'm living proof of that.
Kimberly Ballantyne is officially the first woman from her community to earn her commercial pilot's license. Ballantyne says it's a dream she's been building towards since falling in love with aviation as a child, but the journey to the skies was not an easy one. The single mom had to drop out of ground school 9 times due to funding. On her 10th attempt, she won a scholarship, and in 2021 became the first woman from her community to get her private pilot's license. Now she has some additional training to complete, but is hoping to eventually work for a Manitoba airline.
Once I began to learn more of what the airliners do for our northern communities, it made me that much more motivated to be part of it and to, exactly that, show others that Indigenous people belong in these positions as well. You just have to have the motivation and discipline to follow through, because it's a lot of hard work.
Ballantyne hopes her story can inspire others, particularly Indigenous women, to pursue careers in the industry. And she'll be offering career advice at the Manitoba Aviation Conference and Career Fair on February 23rd through the 25th here in Winnipeg. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. Carlton Street will be closed from Portage to Graham. Following the rush, the southbound curb lane on Spence Street will be closed from Cumberland to Sargent, and the eastbound curb lane on Riverbend Avenue will be closed from Metz to Darwin. If you have any other traffic tips to share, text them to us, please, at 10400.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
We're looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Well, we will see some clearing throughout the day today, so enjoy some sunshine. But the colder temperatures are going to come along with that clearing. In fact, temperatures have been dropping off over the course of the morning. Just after midnight, we were sitting at -5. We're now sitting at -12 and will likely drop another few degrees over the course of the day. -9 at the moment in the Morden Winkler area, -7 in Brandon. So still some places on the milder side. Not that it's not mild here. I mean, compared to seasonal lows, -20 would be normal. So all of us are at least above those seasonal low temperatures, -10. That would be a normal daytime high, which is close to where many of us are sitting at this time. Unless, of course, you're up in northern Manitoba, then it's considerably colder yet. -30s or close to it, and that's before we're even factoring in the winds. Wind chill values are pushing you into the low -40s, high -30s. Even here in Winnipeg, though, there's a definite bite to the air. -23 is what it's feeling like right now. The sky will continue to clear. We're seeing these clouds moving on out of the way. Where it's clear, it's colder yet, and that'll be the case for us as it clears. These temperatures will be dropping off, and we're going to end up then in the mid to high -teens into the afternoon. -14 as kids get into the classroom, settled in their desks. Over the lunch hour, -16, which is probably where we'll still be sitting by the time kids are coming home from school today. That's our expected, I guess, low, or where we'll drop to this afternoon, but then dropping further in the overnight hours down to -18. It will be warming up for the weekend. I should mention, though, the winds will be strong both today and tomorrow. Tomorrow's winds, though, out of the south, heavier clouds moving back in. These temperatures will be back on the rise again and ending up above seasonal. While we have the clouds through the weekend and into the start of next week, eventually we'll see some sunshine and still with those mild temperatures. So things will likely be melty and pretty slushy through much of next week. And the fishing huts are looking pretty cool out in the Minnedosa area. What a great capture here. Thanks to Annette for the photo, and keep them coming, please, to Winnipeg weather at ctv.ca. We're taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Snap a pic for your chance to win with our Best in Fest contest. Festival du Voyageur returns February 13th to the 22nd, and we want to see how you're gearing up. Here are examples of how others are gearing up. Kristen is building a snow fort with her daughter. Maria is learning how to skate at the Forks. And Kara is snowshoeing at Birds Hill Park. Whatever it is, we want to see what you're up to. Upload your photo to our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca, or post it to social media using the hashtag BestInFestContest. Weekly winners will be selected to win a 4-pack of passes to Festival du Voyageur. A British great-grandfather showed it's possible to have a little spring in your step, even at the age of 91, by winning gold in a trampoline contest.
Well, it's absolutely great from an individual's point of view because it exercises just about every part of the body.
The former Royal Air Force trainer bounced his way to first place at a competition for people over the age of 40. It had been decades since his last competition, but the trampoline coach was encouraged to compete once again. That's impressive. Well, the 72nd Luther Invitational Tournament is underway in Regina, bringing in teams from all across the prairies. As CTV's Damien Smith tells us, the event is well known for its exciting atmosphere and its tribute to the past.
Under the watchful eyes of basketball royalty, the next generation hits the court for the 72nd Luther Invitational Tournament.
It's the energy. It's the kids, it's the players, it's the sportsmanship.
While the tournament is known for its atmosphere, it's all run by the students, with everyone buying in.
For our end of yearbook survey, they do a survey of what's the favorite event, and every single year that we've been here, it's been LIT. So I'd say it's probably the most exciting event that we have at our school.
While there are several Regina schools participating, the tournament draws teams from Saskatoon, Alberta, and Manitoba, bringing in plenty of high-caliber competition.
I think we do a really good job of, keeping the caliber of the tournament high, but also, regardless of where our home teams are skill-wise that year, we do a really good job of honoring our teams.
It's also a chance for alumni to reminisce on history.
The players that are coming back as coaches with some of these teams are also, it's generational.
This year, the school is honoring the 2006 Luther men's team, which won the LIT title 20 years ago. For the players returning to the school, it brings back plenty of memories.
I remember I hit one corner three. That was a big one, kind of falling back in the stands. And then the number one memory is walking up the court as the time wound down to 0 and the entire stadium just all fled onto the court.
And one plays were the big part of my game because I was always done underneath the basket.
It was the most amazing environment and atmosphere I've ever been a part of. A flood of memories coming back, and it was a great experience, great time.
The 16-team tournament will wrap up on Saturday between the men's basketball championship game at 8 p.m. Damien Smith, CTV News, Regina.
Here's a look at what's happening right now at McPhillip Street. Things appear to be moving well to start off this Friday morning. We're going to take a short break. We'll be right back.
It's -12 right now, and it feels like -23 at this time. There's a north-northeast wind, 32 kilometers per hour. With the pressure rising, the humidity is sitting at 73%. So it is a little bit cooler this morning. I mean, -12 where we're sitting, that is still above seasonal. But where we're headed today will keep us below normal temperatures, and it's really just such a change-up from that incredibly beautiful, mild day we had yesterday. Sure, it was maybe too mild. It was messy, it was slushy, it was all of those things, but it felt nice to be outside if you weren't in the splash and the spray. But today doesn't quite feel anywhere near as good, so make sure that you've got those extra layers on and you're properly bundled up. It is quite clear across the northern half of the province. Southern Manitoba seeing some extra clouds right now, but even those will be clearing as the day goes on. Plenty of sunshine, or at least partly sunny conditions expected for us. As it clears, it'll also cool. Temperatures have been dropping over the course of the morning already. From -5 just after midnight, we're now sitting at -12, and will continue to drop to about -16 later on this afternoon. We'll deal with all of that along with a northwest wind gusting at times to 50 kilometers per hour. So that will certainly have just that extra sting to it. And then dropping another couple of degrees overnight to about -18. A reminder, -20 is normal, so nothing wrong with this, I suppose. It's just that we had that tease of the warmer weather, and we will get blessed with the warmer weather back again for the weekend. Heavier clouds are coming back again, but the mercury on the rise, reaching a high of -5 tomorrow. But again, those winds will be an issue out of the south at times into the afternoon, gusting to 60 kilometers per hour. Those heavier clouds lasting through the weekend, maybe even a bit of precipitation. But into next week, we'll eventually see some sunshine, and those mild and well above seasonal temperatures will be sticking around.
We're learning more about a propane explosion at a facility in the RM of Taché, which injured 3 people. A provincial spokesperson now confirms the incident last Thursday happened at Prairie Propane in St. Geneviève, and all the injured people were workers. They say Manitoba Workplace Safety and Health issued the business 2 stop work orders and an improvement order related to propane service and maintenance work and the use of a forklift. They add an investigation is ongoing. Prairie Propane hasn't responded to a request for comment. The explosion sent 2 people to hospital, including one who was flown by Stars Air ambulance, while a 3rd person was treated at the scene and released. A new poll finds nearly 3/4 of Manitobans are not confident they'd get needed medical care in an emergency. The Angus Reid Institute online survey shows a lack of confidence among 73% of Manitoba respondents. Nationally, 59% weren't confident about timely care. 3 in 4 Manitobans also say healthcare has deteriorated in the province over the last 10 to 15 years, and 69% are dissatisfied with Manitoba's healthcare system. The online survey was conducted from November 26th to December the 1st and has a margin of error of plus or minus 1.5 percentage points 19 times out of 20. New information has been revealed about the arrest of top Canadian hockey prospect Gavin McKenna. A police affidavit says the 18-year-old from Whitehorse was allegedly caught on video punching a man in the face twice, causing a lost tooth and a fractured jaw. Police say 2 men who were with the alleged victim identified McKenna. The NHL prospect faces multiple charges, including simple assault in the Pennsylvania community of State College, where he plays for the Penn State hockey team. He was arraigned today and released on $20,000 U.S. bail. Canada will officially open a new consulate in Greenland's capital today, a sign of support as U.S. President Donald Trump has not backed off his threat to take over the territory.
All the current events involving Donald Trump have been very insulting to all Inuit everywhere. I think they've insulted me.
A plane filled with dozens of Inuit from Canada has already arrived in Nuuk, flown there to attend the opening and to show solidarity with Greenlanders. Inuits in Canada say they personally feel the U.S. threats against Greenland because of the shared history of colonization, as well as Trump's own comments about Canada becoming a 51st state. A delegation of senior Canadian officials is set to arrive a little later this morning. That includes Governor General Mary Simon and Foreign Minister Anita Anand. They will also be joined by a Canadian Coast Guard icebreaker, which Minister Anand says is meant to signal Ottawa's support for Greenland's territorial integrity. Prime Minister Mark Carney rolled out a new national auto strategy Thursday, promising thousands of dollars in rebates for people choosing an electric vehicle, while also scrapping the contentious EV mandate. CTV's Rachel Aiello reports.
The government rolled out a new roadmap for the auto sector, a multi-billion-dollar strategy to protect jobs and reward companies making vehicles in Canada, driven by a desire to decelerate Canada's reliance on the U.S. and on gas-powered vehicles.
To remain competitive and to realize our potential, we must develop the entire value chain for next-generation vehicles.
To help Canadians afford them, starting February 16th, consumers who purchase electric vehicles will be eligible for a new rebate of up to $5,000 for fully electric vehicles and up to $2,500 for plug-in hybrid models. There will be no price cap on Canadian-made cars, and only models coming from countries Canada has a free trade deal with will qualify if they cost less than $50,000. That means the rebate won't apply to Chinese EVs.
Helping our auto sector meet demand and compete.
Carney is also replacing the climate-minded but contentious EV sales mandate with new emission standards for future models, easing some of the pressure automakers are under.
This puts us on a path to greater electrification while giving industry the flexibility it needs during a very difficult time.
Hopefully we can get to a point where we continue to be tariff-free.
The strategy also includes investment incentives, and car dealers say they're ready to stock their lots.
It's certainly encouraging that we'll be able to pass on some savings directly to the consumer.
Beyond affordability, this country's lacking EV infrastructure remains a barrier to Canadians pulling the plug on gas-powered vehicles. And so Carney also promised $1.5 billion to build up this country's roadside charging network. Rachel Aiello, CTV News, Ottawa.
Sotheby's has sold a rare Rembrandt drawing of a lion for nearly $18 million.
This is the most substantial and significant Rembrandt drawing that's come to auction in more than 25 years.
This drawing is known as Young Lion Resting and was likely drawn in the mid-17th century when the master artist was in his early to mid-30s. The sale placed the work among the most valuable old master drawings to ever be sold at auction. Here's what's happening right now on the Norwood Bridge. It looks like things are slowly picking up in this part of the city, but overall moving quite well at this point in the drive. If you see any issues, please let us know. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.29. The provincial average is $1.23. In Winnipeg, the average is higher at $1.24, and the lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.12. All this information is on gasbuddy.com. Ainsley McPhail is live this morning at Sport Manitoba. We're talking about the Winter Olympics in Milano Cortina. Stay with us for more.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
All right, you're going to notice a bit of a change up in these temperatures compared to yesterday. It was so beautiful and balmy. Yes, it was messy. It was all of those things yesterday, melting, slushy, all of that. But it really felt pleasant to step outside and be like, oh, what a relief from the extreme cold. Now, here's the thing. We're not going back to the extremes by any means, but compared to yesterday, you're certainly going to notice the change up to much colder temperatures that we'll be experiencing throughout the day today. We had started the early morning just after midnight at -5, but we've been dropping off over the course of the morning, now sitting at -12, but it feels like -23 with a 32K wind out of the north-northeast, the pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 73%. So yes, it does feel a little bit cooler. Those winds have increased, and they will continue to increase throughout the day today as these temperatures continue to drop off. Now, the sky will continue to clear. That's one thing that we have in our favor today. Plenty of sunshine will be enjoyed, whereas yesterday was on the cloudier side, even some scattered precipitation. That won't be the case today. Clear, beautiful, bright, but it will be getting colder. However, we're going to get those warmer temperatures back for the weekend, but by then the sunshine disappearing as the clouds will be moving in again. Heading on over to Ainsley McPhail now, see where she's at and what's going on. Hey, Ainsley.
Good morning. We're talking all things Olympics, and nothing brings Canadians and Manitobans together quite like it. I'm going to do a corrections corner off the top, because when there was an update to last night's roster, there are now 5 Manitobans taking part in the Olympics. John Blatcher joins us, and he's the director of sport here at Sport Manitoba. How exciting, what talented athletes we have. Tell us about them.
Well, the 5 athletes that we currently understand are still involved in the games, are going to be involved in the games, are 2 Manitoban female hockey players. Jocelyn Larocque will be competing in her 4th Olympic Games. She will be going for a gold medal, and if she does get that gold medal at the end of the competition, she will tie Jennifer Botterill for the Manitoban with the most Olympic gold medals. So we wish her luck for sure, and her teammate Katie Tabin will also be joining her for her first Olympic Games, so we're excited for her as well. And now we believe there's a third Manitoban men in the men's hockey competition as well. So that is Mark Stone and all NHL players, Mark Stone, Travis Sanheim, and now we heard yesterday that Seth Jarvis from Winnipeg is going to be joining them as well. Yeah.
I shouldn't have slept through that update because it's so exciting. A lot of folks, though, we claim, though, as Manitobans, because there's always a Manitoba connection.
Yes, for sure. Yeah, and there is other representatives from Winnipeg and from Manitoba that are going to be involved in the competitions, involved in the games, one sport or another. We will have support staff involved with the speed skating team, and we will have, I believe, we are, the best curling province and curling region in the world. So we do have the ice technician, Greg Owasco, I believe his name is, that's been making the ice in Italy for the competition there. And then we do understand there's also other people involved with cross-country skiing on the technician side for the Paralympics, and we also expect an athlete in the Paralympics and his visually impaired guide, Jesse Baczynski, who's from Kenora, but I believe did represent Team Manitoba.
I'm sorry. Look, we're glowing about this. More in the 7 o'clock hour as well.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones is 249 points higher. The Nasdaq gained 200 points. The S&P index bumped 44 points. The Canadian dollar is slightly up to 73.5 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng lost 325 points and the Nikkei added 435 points. Good morning, it is 6:46. More support is on the way to help meet the growing infrastructure needs of several communities in southern Manitoba. The RSR Wastewater Cooperative has awarded a construction contract for the first phase of its wastewater treatment facility project. The cooperative is made up of 6 communities, the RMs of Taché, Hanover, Richat, Niverville, La Braquerie, and the Salaberry. The first phase includes construction of the building itself. The group says the facility will have capacity for more than 17,000 new homes, create some 3,400 new jobs, and inject nearly $2 billion into the local economy. It's expected to be located at the Niverville Lagoon site. A city committee has decided against putting a time limit on school drop-offs and pickups. On Wednesday, the Public Works Committee reviewed a motion which would have mandated designated pickup and drop-off points for all city elementary schools. If adopted, there would have been a strict 1-minute time limit for each vehicle. Public Works officials advised it wouldn't necessarily work, as some schools require parents to sign or walk their children in. They suggested working with the school community on behavioral changes, including recommending alternative modes of transportation. The committee voted to receive the motion as information. Public Works officials will look for other ways to clear up school zone congestion. Real estate sales are down in Winnipeg, but the average price is up. The Winnipeg Real Estate Board says single-family home sales dropped 17% in January compared to the same time the year before. The average price rose 4% to just over $431,000. Condo prices also rose to an average of $275,000, while sales dropped 16%. Active home listings were also lower than those in January 2025 and the 5-year average. Federal workers are pushing back against an order to bring them back to the office 4 days a week.
I just find this just insulting and disrespectful to be doing this to public servants after everything we've gone through the past few months.
The order comes as tens of thousands of public servants have recently received notices of possible layoffs. Under this expanded return to office mandate, workers will need to be on site 4 days a week by July the 6th. That's up from 3 days a week right now. Executives will be in office 5 days a week. The Federal Workers Union says it doesn't think the order will raise productivity. It's also worried there isn't enough office space. We now have a better idea of how much it'll cost for Canada to live up to its NATO spending promise. The Parliamentary Budget Office has released a report on the pledge. It says Canada can expect to pay an extra $33.5 billion a year in order to spend the equivalent of 5% of its GDP on defense. The report also says the spending will push the deficit up to $63 billion by the 2035-36 fiscal year. Prime Minister Mark Carney promised to meet the 5% spending target by the year 2035. The Washington Post has laid off 1/3 of its staff. The newspaper is eliminating its sports section, several foreign bureaus, and its books coverage. The executive director says the cuts were necessary to keep up with changes in technology and user habits. The Toronto Zoo's great horned owl, Butters, is providing us with a Super Bowl prediction. Butters is picking the Patriots to beat the Seahawks in the big game on Sunday. As you saw, he didn't even seem to think about it. And remember, if you haven't made your pick yet, owls are known for being quite wise. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning. Carlton Street will be closed from Portage to Graham. Following the rush, the southbound curb lane on Spence Street will be closed from Cumberland to Sargent. And the eastbound curb lane on Riverbend Avenue will be closed from Metz to Darwin. If you see anything out there, let us know, please.
-12 at the moment, feels like -23 with north-northeast winds 32 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 73%. It is going to be a little bit colder today, but a whole lot clearer as well. The sun will shine for us eventually once it rises, but that'll be happening in about 5 minutes to 8 o'clock. So later, I was going to say later this hour. It's not even 7 o'clock yet. It is Friday, though. We got that going for us. Here, yes, right? Here you can see how clear it is through the northern part of the province with the heavier clouds here in the south. Those will be clearing out. So plenty of sunshine, and most of us, even if we do have the extra clouds over us now, will be seeing that sunshine later today. Look at the temperatures, though. Big change up from yesterday. It was so mild yesterday, and that's not going to be the case today, as we're seeing temperatures back to either what is normal for this time of year, or for many of us, even a little bit below seasonal, with our daytime highs expected to be in the high -teens, low -20s, or as we just saw over in the north east, the high -20s today. So yeah, it'll be a little bit cooler for sure. Here in the southwest might be our best chance of the milder temperatures, where -10 is a normal daytime high, and you might be just above it in places like Brandon, Neepawa. We're going to be dropping off. Now, these temperatures that we are seeing here, that's kind of where we're sitting in these morning hours, but dropping off through the afternoon, and all of us will be ending up then in those mid to high -teens, so it's only going to get cooler over the course of the day. Plenty of sunshine. It's going to look good. It's just not going to feel as great as it did, but it will get better again as far as the temperatures go. Maybe too much so. Again, there's kind of a sweet spot of what we love for winter weather. Maybe it's just my opinion, and this almost gets a little bit too warm. It'll be mild and messy, heavier clouds sticking around through the weekend.
Gary, let's check in now on Bo and Gabby at Bounce 99.9. Good morning, you two. Happy Friday.
Oh, happy Friday. What a day yesterday. The weekend looks great. And hey, it's Super Bowl weekend. Are you a fan, Rochelle? Are you going to be watching?
I'm going to be watching the halftime show. That's kind of what I'm there
Just
for.
the halftime show.
Really.
Okay, so I won't ask you Seahawks or Patriots then.
I don't know. Seahawks, let's just say.
I hope they all win and have fun, Rochelle, because Bo asked me who I was cheering for, and I said I'm cheering for nachos, obviously.
Well, okay, I think we're all into the food and the halftime show. Like, when it comes to, I've got to have wings. I've got to have nachos. Now that you mention it, and maybe some chili. I am making some of my chili. Now, what are you going to be having, Rochelle?
I'm making chili on Sunday as well, and wings must have in my house for sure. We might have salsa and chips, something simple. Yeah, I don't know. It's going to be sort of a last-minute decision, but it'll be fun.
You guys are making me so hungry this morning. Okay, so moving on from the food, because I've already eaten my breakfast pizza for the day, Rochelle. We were talking about numbers that you might have memorized, because I know my SIN number, and I obviously have my credit card number memorized, because I use it all the time for online shopping, far too much. But what numbers do you have memorized? Any old phone numbers that you have in the back of your head?
You know what? I grew up in a small town, so every phone number started with 736 in my community. So I remember both my grandparents' phone number. I remember obviously my parents' phone number, all my aunts and uncles, my cousins. I remember all of those numbers. I remember the bank's phone number, the local store's phone number. It's still in my head. It lives there forever. I can't remember new phone numbers today, but those numbers from the past, I can never forget them.
My God, I'm thinking Rain Man here, Rain Woman. That's incredible. I myself cannot remember anything. My SIN number, I've only used it like for 500 years. I have to look it up each and every time. You guys amaze me. I'm excited about that.
It'll probably
And before
fade.
we go, yeah, go Seahawks. Go Seahawks.
Okay. Thanks, you guys. A Canadian dog is making millions of fans around the world. It's because he's proving there's more to being a good dog than being good looking. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has more.
Amanda Richter will always remember that day she noticed this face you can't forget.
He looks just like a Picasso painting. Everything's out of place. One eye's big, one's little. His nose is twisted.
She contacted the animal shelter that posted the picture right away, and after meeting Brody, fell in love even faster.
The cuteness and feeling sorry for him, it was just this massive amount of emotions.
Staff at the shelter told Amanda that the dog's deformity was caused by his mom, who bit him when he was 2 weeks old, leaving Brody's jaw partially shut and one eye blind.
But he has such a zest for life. He loves everyone and everything, and he's just happy-go-lucky all the time.
After adopting him, just hours after meeting him, other people who'd seen his picture asked the shelter for updates. So Amanda started posting pictures of Brody online.
Just him being a goofball, just being himself.
Just being Brody has inspired almost 2 million people to follow him on social media, countless others to create all sorts of art inspired by him, and at least one person to get a tattoo of the canine on their calf.
I couldn't believe that he was blowing up the way he was. He has a cult following almost. It's insane.
Even more unimaginable, Amber says, was being told about a similar-looking dog at a shelter in Texas, adopting the pup named Raven and enlisting a team of volunteers to transport her to BC.
They're the best of friends now. They are just like yin and yang. They love each other so much. It's pretty cute.
Well, Brody and Raven have since been profiled in print around the world, from the UK's Sun to DC's Washington Post, plus an appearance in People magazine. Amanda says she's not sharing pictures of her pups to generate publicity. Her goal is to inspire empathy.
It's saved my faith in humanity, just knowing that people are kind, can look past differences and love an animal who might not be perfect.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Cowichan Lake.
Oh yeah, those are beautiful little faces. All right, here's a look outside now on Provencher Bridge. It looks like things are moving well over here. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back with your 7 o'clock headlines. It's Friday, February the 6th. Today, court verdict in a judge finds a man guilty in the killing of a Winnipeg restaurant owner, bringing relief for the victim's family. Plus, Ottawa talks. Mayor Scott Gillingham meets with Prime Minister Mark Carney on funding, bail reform, and public safety. And Olympic opening day. Team Canada hits the ice as the Milano Cortina Games officially get underway. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It is 7 o'clock on your Friday. Thank you so much for being with us here on Your Morning Winnipeg. Terry, yesterday, February is, of course, I love to read month. And so yesterday I got a chance to go to the Ralph Maybank School with Mrs. Lauren's grade 3-4 class.
Nice.
And the kids were amazing. They're always amazing because they ask the best questions.
Yes.
I got asked how old I was, which is always fun to answer. I also got
Do you tell
asked,
the truth?
Yes, I do. And then I was also asked like everything about this job and why we get up so early and so many great questions.
Why do we get up so early?
Exactly. So thank you to the class. It was wonderful hanging out with you yesterday.
Nice.
And when I walked up to the school to go in, it was so mild. It was melting everywhere. It was lovely.
Yeah, it was so beautiful. I'm with you on that. Every time I stepped outside yesterday, from the morning, early morning when we were still on the show, to the moments that I was out and about through the day, right on into the evening, I was still so shocked every time I was outside being like, wow, this is February. It felt like spring, honestly. It was beautiful and mild. And I think it was such a welcome change up coming off of those extremes that we dealt with through so much of January where we were below seasonal. Well, wake up call this morning, we're back to below seasonal temperatures. It looks good out there, though, doesn't it? The fork's pretty with all of the lights. Okay, minus 12. That's where our actual temperature sits, though it feels like minus 23, and that's because of those winds out of the north-northeast at 32 kilometers per hour. The pressure is rising and the humidity sitting at 73%. It is going to be a beautiful-looking day, clear with plenty of sunshine. We're not quite in the clear yet here in the south. Northern Manitoba certainly is. We will become clearer as the last of the clouds move on out of the way, setting us up for plenty of sunshine, and then pretty much everybody will be enjoying that sunshine through the day. We'll see a little bit of cloud building along this western border, but that'll be into the late afternoon. Into the overnight hours is when those clouds move in over us here on the eastern side, and then bringing some snow through central and then northern Manitoba. This will be taking over your Saturday. I don't know about taking over your Saturday, but it'll certainly be noticed throughout Saturday. The flurries through central, northern Manitoba will have the heavier clouds. Warmer temperatures are coming back again for the weekend, but the winds won't let up. Today, those winds are going to be very strong. It's going to be a north wind. It's going to drive those temperatures down, so while it'll be sunny, it's only going to get colder. And then tomorrow, a warm-up comes, but some strong winds again, heavier clouds, but well above seasonal temperatures, lasting into the middle of next week. And it's a wolf at night. Very lovely work that you've done here, Mason. I opened this up and I was so pleasantly surprised. Such cool, unique art to share. 9 years old, what a talent. Keep your artwork coming to us. We'd love to see it and showcase it here at CTV Your Morning Winnipeg.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
A dangerous person alert lit up cell phones across the province Thursday morning after a woman was abducted from a northern First Nation, and Mounties are still searching for the suspect. Cross Lake RCMP officers were called to a home in Pimichikamak Cree Nation around 5:40 Thursday morning. Police allege 39-year-old Joshua Papanikis entered the home and attacked a resident with a hammer before abducting 20-year-old Rianne Thomas at knife point. Police confirm Papanikis and Thomas are known to each other and consider this to be an act of intimate partner violence, adding Thomas is in immediate danger. Additional officers from Winnipeg are assisting in the search, going door to door in the community. While the search is focused in the Pimichikamak area, police say it is possible Papanikis has fled the area. Mounties warn Papanikis is likely armed and dangerous and should not be approached. Anyone who sees him or Thomas is asked to call RCMP at 204-676-2600. It took more than 2 years, but the family of a Winnipeg restaurant owner killed following a violent confrontation outside his restaurant says justice has been served. On Thursday, a judge handed down a guilty verdict for the killing of Kyriakis Voyajakis. CTV's Joseph Bernacki was in court and has the details on the judge's ruling.
Today, the courts finally stood up for a family, finally made a decision that was right in my mind, in my heart.
More than 2 years to the day after his younger brother Kyriakis was murdered, Michael Voyajakis says he can finally grieve his death after his killer was found guilty of manslaughter.
2 years has been a 2-year struggle, a 2-year grief that continues every single day where there's no closure.
Curtis Ross Dalabozic and Kyriakis Voyajakis came to blows in the early evening of January 24th, 2024. Justice Sadie Bond wrote that security camera footage obtained from the restaurant was the key piece of evidence that led to the guilty verdict. She wrote Voyajakis may have started the fight, but by the end of the tape, he is on the ground and Dalabozic continues to beat him. The threat of force diminished as Mr. Dalabozic held Mr. Voyajakis down and continued to assault him. Mr. Dalabozic's application of force became disproportionate to the diminished threat posed by Mr. Voyajakis and therefore was not reasonable. Court heard that a medical report found blunt force trauma, broken ribs, and asphyxiation led to the heart attack which killed Voyajakis. His brother spoke to reporters outside the courtroom Thursday.
This court decision doesn't bring Kyriakis back, but it brings us a little bit of closure and a little bit of faith in a system that I think is broken.
Justice Bond also found Dalabozic guilty on a single charge of uttering threats. That's related to a Cork and Flame employee named Shanice Powell, who arrived on scene to check on her boss back in 2024. Bond says, according to Powell's testimony during Dalabozic's trial, he swore at her, saying, "I know where you work. I'll lay you down too." For Michael Voyajakis, the verdict brings a small amount of comfort for his family.
My poor mom, who's 80, has to live with this every day of the week, knowing that her son is dead.
Joseph Bernanke, CTV News, Winnipeg.
Delabozic's lawyer declined to comment on the decision, saying the matter is still before the courts. Sentencing is expected to begin sometime in April. This week, Mayor Scott Gillingham has been in Ottawa meeting with his counterparts from other big cities. On Wednesday, he had a chance to sit down with Prime Minister Mark Carney.
Our top priorities in Winnipeg, for sure, are the need to get federal funding commitments to fund the North End sewage plant, the third phase of that plant. We don't have a federal commitment on that third phase yet, and we need that. And we need the money to flow as quickly as possible.
Gillingham says topics of conversation ranged from infrastructure funding to bail reform and public safety. Statistics Canada is set to release the January jobs figures this morning. A Reuters poll of economists expects employers added 7,000 jobs in the first month of 2026, good enough to keep the unemployment rate steady at 6.8%. Bank of Canada Governor Tiff Macklem said in a speech on Thursday that he expects an uneven recovery in the labor market this year, with some sectors and occupations seeing gains while others face slower improvement. Team Canada is gearing up for the opening of the Milano Cortina 2026 Winter Olympics. The torch relay is approaching its final leg before today's opening ceremony. The ceremony is going to be a bit different, happening at different sites across northern Italy. Team Canada will be led by flag bearers Michael Kingsbury and Mary L. Thompson. Figure skating started this morning with day one of the team event. Ice dancers Piper Gillis and Paul Poirier got things started for Team Canada in the rhythm dance. Canada is sitting in fourth right now. Over at mixed curling, Jocelyn Peterman and Brett Gallant are no longer undefeated in round-robin play. They lost to the U.S. this morning 7-5. If you can believe it, some of the athletes visiting Italy for the Olympics can't get enough of their pizza.
In the world you can eat pizza, but everywhere is a different experience because people do pizza in different way. The ingredients on top are different. I think that what makes our pizza special is the simplicity of the kind of pizza we make and the high quality of the ingredients that they are on the top of the pizza.
Freestyle ski athletes staying in Liveno have been having eating pies at a restaurant near the Olympic Village. One skier has moved to making custom orders at the restaurant, adding steak to his prosciutto pizza to get some extra protein. You have to imagine it's difficult to say no to pizza when in Italy. Absolutely, looks delicious. Here's what's happening right now. Kenaston and Sterling Lyon Way. It looks like things are moving well in this part of the city, but we do have a traffic alert to tell you about due to a fire. Emergency crews have closed the eastbound curb lane of Nairn Avenue between Allen Street to Watt Street, so keep left to pass. If you have any traffic tips or updates to share, text them to us at 10400.
Canada's AGT Food and Ingredients is planning to return to the TSX. The company and some of its backers are looking to raise $460 million in an initial public offering. The company, based in Regina, sells packaged foods and was a public company before it was taken private in 2019. Canadian dairy manufacturer Saputo missed revenue estimates in its latest quarter. Quarterly revenue came in at $4.8 billion. That's down from $4.9 billion a year earlier. The company attributed the decline to lower U.S. dairy commodity pricing. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
The Winter Olympics are kicking off today with the opening ceremony. Ainsley McPhail is live at Sport Manitoba this morning talking about some of the Manitoba athletes that will be there. Good morning.
And Rochelle, from curling to speed skating and of course hockey, Manitoba over the years has produced some world-class athletes. Over 200 Canadian athletes competing in the games, and 5 of them are from Manitoba, and lots of other Manitoba connections as well, whether it be people behind the scenes, people who have lived in Manitoba previously, or people who are cheering them on from behind, from their couches as well. That'll be like us. That'll be like us for sure. Coming up in about 30 minutes time, we're going to be talking about the importance of hydration. And they've brought a hydration kit and said that I myself can take part in this exercise. You read between the lines on that one.
Okay.
I haven't decided if I'm going to do it yet.
Okay, well, we'll see. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. How's it feeling out there, Terry?
Do you know, it feels colder than yesterday, don't get me wrong, but when I kind of think about this is February in Winnipeg after all, and knowing that we've got winter festivals just around the corner, kind of weather that we want the colder temperatures for. It's kind of a shame that we're getting this warm up, and don't get me wrong, it felt so good yesterday. It felt beautiful, it felt balmy, but it was slushy, it was messy, snow was melting everywhere. We're not going to see that today, but we likely will again for the coming weekend. Where we're sitting right now at -13 has been cooling from where we were earlier on this morning. Just after midnight, we were sitting around -5, and those temperatures have been dropping off over the course of the morning. Now, you factor in a wind on top of that, a 28K wind out of the north-northeast. It feels like -23 at the moment, with the pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 73%. We do still have some heavier clouds around, but only through the morning hours. They'll be clearing as the day goes on. Plenty of sunshine is expected, but across the entire province today, cooler temperatures can also be expected, so make sure that you're bundled up properly. Bright, sunny, but getting colder as the day goes on because these temperatures will continue to drop throughout the afternoon.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
It's time now for a question of the day. Super Bowl 60 is this Sunday, so we're asking, what is your favorite Super Bowl snack? You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response, and don't forget to include your name. At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing. We want more. Whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals, send them our way. Drop your pet photos, a fun little story about them, to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. This is what it looks like outside right now. Looks pretty good to start off this Friday morning. Look at that gorgeous sky. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Good morning, it is 7:16. A plan to create an all-season road linking 3 Northern First Nations communities is one step closer to reality. An assessment by the federal government has concluded the proposed 141-kilometer road linking Manto Sipi Cree Nation, Bonnie Bonnie B Cree Nation, and God's Lake First Nation is not likely to significantly disrupt the environment. That's if the project properly follows mitigation guidelines. Some of those measures include minimizing emissions and noise, managing any changes to water quality, and protecting species such as birds and fish. The feds note the project would be subject to oversight, and any proposed changes would need to be submitted and reviewed. A woman from Opaskwayak Cree Nation is ready for takeoff.
There's no other feeling in the world when you accomplish your dream, and I'm living proof of that.
Kimberly Ballantyne is officially the first woman from her community to earn her commercial pilot's license. Ballantyne says it's a dream she's been building towards since falling in love with aviation as a child. But the journey to the skies was not an easy one. The single mom had to drop out of ground school 9 times due to funding. On her 10th attempt, she won a scholarship, and in 2021 became the first woman from her community to get her private pilot's license. Now she has some additional training to complete, but is hoping to eventually work for a Manitoba airline.
Once I began to learn more of what the airliners do for our northern communities, it made me that much more motivated to be part of it and to, exactly that, show others that Indigenous people belong in these positions as well. You just have to have the motivation and discipline to follow through because it's a lot of hard work.
Ballantyne hopes her story can inspire others, particularly Indigenous women, to pursue careers in the industry. And she'll be offering career advice at the Manitoba Aviation Conference and Career Fair on February 23rd through the 25th here in Winnipeg. A British great-grandfather showed it's possible to have a little spring in your step even at the age of 91 by winning gold in a trampoline contest.
Well, it's absolutely great from an individual's point of view because it exercises just about every part of the body.
The former Royal Air Force trainer bounced his way to first place at a competition for people over the age of 40. It had been decades since his last competition, but the trampoline coach was encouraged to compete once again. Here's what's happening right now on the St. James Bridge. Things appear to be moving quite well over here in this part of the city. If you see any problems out there, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your car today.
In entertainment, an unlikely movie villain has become the face of Lunar New Year celebrations in China.
This is Crab and Goyle, and I'm Malfoy. Draco Malfoy.
Images of Draco Malfoy keep popping up ahead of the Year of the Horse. Now, reportedly, this is because the Mandarin translation of his surname, Malfoy, roughly sounds like the words for horse and fortune. Red posters with well-wishing messages are typical decorations for the annual celebration, but this year, many feature the grin of the infamous Hogwarts bully, played by Tom Felton. A grade 1 class at Charles Sinclair School in Fisher River is feeling the love from Canada and other parts of the world.
It completely blew up, and I have no idea why.
Teacher Shekina Patterson sent out a social media request asking people to send Valentines to her students. It's all part of a social studies unit about Canada and our connection to the community and the world. As he prepares to perform at the Super Bowl halftime show, Bad Bunny has made a high-profile deal in the world of podcasting. Bad Bunny is the co-owner of an athlete management agency dedicated to boosting Latin American athletes. That company, Rimas Sports, has now reached a deal with iHeartMedia to create podcasts and other content. It's set to launch with a podcast featuring MLB Comeback Player of the Year, the Atlanta Braves' Ronald Acuna Jr. Bad Bunny is set to take the stage at Sunday's halftime show in Santa Clara, California, 1 week after winning the Grammy for Album of the Year. Kick off your Friday primetime lineup with Celebrity Wheel of Fortune at 7. St. Denis Medical and Stubble comes next at 8. Boston Blue winds up at 9. It's all right here tonight on CTV. Well,
I am so out of the loop. It was 2 days ago when you mentioned Bad Bunny in the studio and you said, that I heard this name for the first time.
What?
How?
Well, you have to listen to his music. You'll love it. It's so good.
Okay, maybe I do. I don't know where I've been.
It's so
apparently
good.
Been.
I dance in my kitchen all the time to Bad Bunny. It's amazing.
Okay.
He's very talented.
I'll have to tune in for the halftime show. I doubt that I will, but maybe I'll get around to it. I don't know. I don't know how I became so out of touch with the world. Anyway, I do know what's going on with the weather. Here's a look right now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. The sky is looking gorgeous, isn't it? Beautiful start to your morning. We will see more clearing. You saw those darker clouds and the brightness just along the horizon. Well, even those clouds above will be clearing as the day goes on, and plenty of sunshine will then be enjoyed throughout the entire province. So all of us will be in for a brighter day, not a balmier day. Yesterday, those temperatures were so pleasant. That won't be the case today. Although I shouldn't say that. If you're properly bundled up, just know that it's going to be colder. We're sitting now at -13 here in Winnipeg, -10 in Portage, Brandon, and in the Morden Winkler area. You're coming in at -9. Those are the warmest temperatures that we're seeing so far this morning, but even those will be dropping as the day goes on. Moving up into northern Manitoba, where it is already clear, it's cold. Temperatures in those low -30s or high -20s, and that's before we're factoring in the wind. Add a breeze on top of it all, and those wind chill values are pushing you up into the low -40s across the north, and even here it's feeling like -23 in Winnipeg. So the layers will be needed today, the sunglasses as well, because as these clouds clear, beautiful, bright, plenty of sunshine, but the temperatures will only continue to fall. -14 as kids get into the classrooms this morning, and through the lunch hour and as they're headed home, we'll probably be sitting at about -16, dropping another couple degrees overnight down to -18, but on the rise for tomorrow and throughout the weekend. Really pleasant temperatures. The change up in the conditions come with heavier clouds moving in, maybe even some scattered precipitation, but eventually there will be some sunshine next week and those mild temperatures continuing. Fishing huts. What a great day to be out on the lake yesterday if you weren't worried about the ice melting. I'm kidding. It's not going to melt that quick, but beautiful shot taken out here in Minnedosa of people enjoying the outdoor weather. Thanks to Annette for the photos. Keep them coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
February 6, 1959, the U.S. successfully test fires a Titan intercontinental ballistic missile for the first time from Cape Canaveral, Florida. The Titan ICBM system formed part of the U.S. nuclear weapons delivery arsenal until it was decommissioned in 1987. The Titan was also used to launch NASA missions and military satellites. February 6, 1967, Manitoba introduces a 5% sales tax to finance education and social services. The tax took effect June 1st of that year, leaving Alberta as the only province without a provincial sales tax. February 6, 2022, Ottawa Mayor Jim Watson declared a state of emergency to handle protests on downtown streets in his city. Protesters gathered there to oppose pandemic restrictions put in place by various levels of government. Get ready to rock and roll. Your Morning Winnipeg has a contest for you. Motley Crue will headline the second annual Rock and Thunder at Princess Auto Stadium. The legendary rock band will help kickstart the summer. And Your Morning Winnipeg has a pair of tickets to give away this week. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. Good luck. The Winnipeg Symphony Orchestra is on the case of a murder mystery. Murdoch Mysteries Murder in F Major will fuse a thrilling whodunit with a live WSO performance on Saturday evening. It invites the audience inside the musical side of Canada's longest-running television drama, featuring original themes composed for the series as well as classical works associated with the show. It culminates with a screening of the title episode.
I have a special monitor that gives me kind of time codes and flashes and pops and clicks and all kinds of things. And basically I have to make sure that we're lining up the whole soundtrack exactly with what happens in the film.
Fans can also participate in a post-concert meet and greet with Murdoch Mysteries star Daniel Maslany. The WSO will also perform a musical Love Letter to Paris with Jill Barber tonight. At last check, a very limited number of tickets were still available for both shows through the WSO box office. It's time now for this week's Adorable Adoptables. We begin with Berlioz. This 6-year-old is his very own symphonie fantastique. Berlioz loves scratching cardboard, head scratches, and cuddles. Next up is Starshine. This 3-year-old boy is sweet, gentle, and full of curiosity. He loves exploring his surroundings and soaking up attention. And meet Muffin. This sweet and particular lady loves to be brushed. She likes affection on her terms, but grooming is the way to her heart. Muffin longs for the quiet, simple life. If you think you can offer any of these animals a good home, just head down to the Winnipeg Humane Society or give them a call. The number is on your screen. All right, we're telling you all about what to expect at the Olympics from Manitoba athletes. Stay with us. Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live with Sport Manitoba. We are celebrating Manitoba athletes this morning. Hi, Ainsley.
Good morning. It's Olympic time, and as spectators, it's of course easy to get excited, but put yourself in the shoes of the athletes themselves. The amount of pressure they must feel in order to do what they do. Dr. Tujka joins us now, and she's going to tell us all about that and getting into that sort of mindset. So what's it like for these folks?
It's exciting. They work their entire lives for this moment, and a lot of them, you know, how you perform is a function of all that technical and physical preparation, but also your humanness and your humanity. And so these athletes are pros. They're experts in themselves, and they know what they need to do so they can show up and perform on demand.
Mm-hmm. What are some of the challenges they may face when it comes to those mounting pressures?
I think that it's different for everyone, and that's one of the things that's incredibly important, is that they're honest with themselves about the types of things that are distractions for them. I remember one year I was with Hockey Canada at the World Championships, and it was a home games, and our whole motto or mantra was that pressure is a privilege, and pressure does impact you, and it does affect you, and I think that everyone has to understand what that means for their performance. It depends a lot on the sport they're doing as well. Some sports are very technical. Some sports are more adrenaline-based. So I think that the athletes and coaches are experts in what they need to do to regulate themselves so they can perform on demand and give their best performance when it matters most.
Mm-hmm. So can some of us regular folks take in some of these strategies?
Absolutely. I think everyone, if you're, you know, one of the things we talk a lot about is who you want to be and how you want to show up. And I think anyone can think about if they have a big meeting or a big presentation to do, they can think a little bit about kind of when they perform their best in that situation and who they want to be, how they want to show up. And I think identifying things that distract you, that get in the way, and how you want to manage them if they happen. One of the things that we often say is the brain doesn't really like surprises, and so you want to prepare for things that are unexpected so it's not as surprising for your brain, so that your brain can kind of bring it back to to the focus that you have. And it doesn't really matter if you get stressed or anxious, you're prepared. And what's the most important is what you do focus on. So just, you know, recognize when it's somewhere that's unhelpful and gently bring it back to the task at hand.
Thank you. And at the end of the day, we're all human. Are we getting enough water? We'll find out at 7:42.
Beautiful sky this morning. Those clouds beginning to clear somewhat. It's -13, though it feels like -23 with a 28 wind out of the north-northeast. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 73%. We're still 25 minutes away from sunrise, but it's looking beautiful and bright out there. Will continue to be a beautiful, bright-looking day. It's just not going to be a balmy day, not compared to yesterday. I know yesterday those temperatures soared. We were all up into the plus digits. It was melty, it was slushy, it was all of those things, but it did feel pleasant to be outside, even if it was a mess. Today feels a little bit colder, so throw those extra layers on, then grab those sunglasses. You're going to need them today. We'll watch as these clouds clear throughout the very southwest, and then maybe later this afternoon you'll see them just along this western border, but many of us, especially along the eastern side today, beautiful sunny conditions, but it is going to get colder. In fact, temperatures will be dropping off as the day goes on, so cooling throughout today, but rising again tomorrow. Now, tomorrow will come with some heavier clouds and some flurries across central and northern Manitoba. Those flurries might last through Saturday. We could be seeing a little bit of that activity once we're looking into Sunday, but the temperatures, yes, they're going to be improving for the weekend if what you're looking for is something a little bit milder than, say, today, because today the temperature is dropping down to -16 into the afternoon. That puts us well below seasonal, -10 normal for this time of year. But for the weekend, the clouds come back and those temperatures will be on the rise.
The Toba Center for Children and Youth is a child advocacy center that helps connect abused children with a coordinated approach to help them cope with their abuse and start the road to healing. The center is asking Manitobans to donate to a comfort kit drive to give kids and their caregivers in crisis specialized care packages. The campaign is called the Hurting Hope Comfort Kit Drive. Joining us now to tell us more from the Toba Center for Children and Youth is Christy Zikovitz. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thanks so much for coming in. Now, just remind people what the Toba Center is and what you do there exactly.
Yeah, we're a child advocacy center, which is a coordinated response to child abuse. So we're a charitable organization, but our multidisciplinary team includes police officers, medical practitioners, child welfare workers, victim support staff, our support specialists, child forensic interviewers who are specialized to talk to kids about these types of things. So really all the things that need to happen in a child abuse investigation are now happening in a child-centered environment where kids can be at the center of it and their families, and the rest of us are there as a resource to them as they go through the whole process.
And the goal of that, having a one-stop shop for them, is to sort of ease them into it and just not have to repeat the same story over and over again.
Yeah, it's really kind of the definition of child-centered trauma-informed care. It's putting them at the middle. We all have really important jobs to do, but every single decision that is made and every single effort that is made is about how can we make this the most comfortable for them, the least traumatic for them. We don't want to add trauma to what they've experienced. So all of those comforts to make sure that they feel seen and heard, and so all these outcomes improve by doing that, but essentially we just really want to make sure we're meeting their needs to set them on the right path, because the ultimate goal is wellness.
And the majority of the children and caregivers you receive are from outside of Winnipeg, right?
Yeah, currently of the referrals we receive, we're at about 70% from outside of the city of Winnipeg. So we have people traveling in addition to what they're going through, and there's all the additional stressors of being in a big city when maybe they don't come from a big city. And we serve as far north as the small region of Nunavut called the Kavalik region. Okay,
and so they come here and then they seek comfort, obviously, and you are there to provide them with comfort, to give them, because they'll be staying in a hotel. What do you need right now? Tell us about this drive.
Well, we decided to create comfort kits, and those are kits that our team can curate for each family. So if a family's coming in for a couple of days or longer, to be able to provide them with, you know, a kit of things that we would all want if you're in a hotel with kids that, you know, are busy. So things like pajamas. Families might be leaving very quickly in a traumatic incident, right? So, you know, underwear, socks, you know, personal hygiene products, things like that, but also, you know, board games, card games. If people want to make cash donations, we'll also be able to provide families with activities like movie passes or swimming pool passes. So all of those kinds of things that will just allow them to do other things while they're in the city, besides things that we really wish they weren't here for.
Right, and taking their mind off of things in a way as well. What does it mean to the kids their caregivers, knowing that strangers are doing this for them?
Well, I think it's been the most rewarding part of developing Toba Center, honestly, is to see how much people do want to support. You know, before Toba Center, we had, you know, police officers and social workers and medical practitioners doing really important work. But now we've opened it up, and we've opened it up so that Manitobans who really do care about kids and families in these experiences can be helpful. So when we're giving these types of packages to families, we're letting them know that these are donated by Manitobans because people care about you, and we're kind of all in this together to support you, to help you get it through.
And that must help them as well.
Oh, it is, and it's less isolating, right? We always want to try to send the message that this can happen to anybody. So how do we rally around those that it does happen to? And so this is just another way to do that. It's a real tangible way.
So you're collecting these items tomorrow. What do you want people to know about that?
We'll collect these items year-round, but it's our first year doing the Hurting Hope campaign. So between 10 and 2 tomorrow, folks can come to Toba Center. We have volunteers. We're sponsored by the Platinum Jets, which is a great volunteer group, and we'll all be there giving out hot chocolate and collecting these things, and they can drive by the center. There's a loop right out in front, and all the information is up on our website, but we'd really like to see as many people as possible.
That is
tomorrow.
amazing. And for the pajamas and the sizing, is there something specific you're looking for?
No, we have lots of information up on the website, but there's all ranges of sizes because, of course, we care about their caregivers as well.
Yep.
So these packages are really for kids and caregivers and youth, so, you know, you can't go wrong, really. We'll find a place for it, but all new.
And cash always goes a long way, too.
100%.
Because you can purchase gift cards for
Yeah, and we can
Uber
fill the gaps, right? And we can fill the gaps and make sure we have, you know, the right things for everybody.
Okay, well, if you want more information, we have a link on our website where you can support the cause. Thank you so much, Christy.
Thank you.
Taking a look outside right now, we're sitting at minus 13 degrees. Look at that gorgeous sky starting off this Friday morning. We'll be right back after this short break.
Beautiful start to your morning, enjoying that sunshine. In fact, we'll be seeing more of that throughout the day today, but the temperatures have been falling from -5 just after midnight. We're now at minus 13, and it feels like minus 23 once you're factoring in that breeze. You'll notice that wind too. It's 28 kilometers per hour out of the north-northeast. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 73%. And that breeze that you can already notice and is already having some impact, that'll only get stronger throughout the day today as these temperatures continue to fall. Yes, it will be cooling down, and I know it's such a shock to the system we had yesterday. So beautiful and balmy. And even though most of January was spent well below seasonal, you get a taste of spring like what we had yesterday, and all of a sudden today it feels like that record scratch of like, whoa, what's going on? Well, I'll tell you, it's only going to last for a day. We're going to get those milder temperatures back again for the weekend and well beyond. And in fact, it's probably going to almost be warming up too much for this time of year. I mean, we never really get to put in our, you know, menu request with Mother Nature, but boy, if we could, I'd say keep it about -6, -8, somewhere in that zone with some sunshine. That would be ideal for me, but that's not what we're going to get. We will get the sunshine. It's going to look good today, but dropping down to -16. And those winds out of the northwest, they will be getting stronger as those temperatures drop, winds increasing to about 50 kilometers per hour, dropping further overnight down to about -18. Now, just for a reference point, this is still above seasonal, -20 for a normal low, -10 seasonal for a daytime high. And honestly, I say 6 to 8. I mean, like, this is all about my preferences. But -10, I'd be happy with that too. We just haven't really had seasonal temperatures, and we won't, because after today, Mercury on the rise again. We'll still deal with those stronger winds. We're also going to notice the clouds increasing, maybe even some scattered precipitation. But here you can see just below the freezing mark, and that's where we'll stay well into the middle of next week.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. We're talking about the Winter Olympics and the importance of hydration for athletes. Good morning.
Good morning. And when it comes to hydrating ourselves, how much water do you think an athlete would need? How much water does a specific athlete need? And are we regular? Are we regular back home? Jory and Jeremy join me now to share all about it and give us some useful tips. So, Jory, when it comes to an athlete's strength, they need a lot of water, and the cold impacts that.
Yeah, I would say they need a lot of hydration. So water is part of it. And I think that people get mixed up. They're always like, how much water do I need? Well, water is definitely part of the plan. It's the base of your hydration. But then there's a lot of other pieces that come into play. And it would look at your environment. How much are you exercising? Are you in the heat? Are you in the cold? And so that will depend on how much fluid you need to take in every day.
And going nation specific, you mentioned a goalie, for instance, or somebody curling.
Yeah, so if you look at a goalie, you think that goalie's just standing around, not doing much, right? However, their movement is constant, and they will lose up to anywhere from 2 to 3 liters in one game.
Oh my goodness. So I guess the question is, what do we have here? This is a kit that is used for the athletes to test their urine?
Yes, yeah, exactly that. So a lot of times for most people, you can just take a look and have a good sense of where you're at. But when it comes to preparing Olympic and Paralympic athletes, we have to get more specific. So sometimes you got to make them pee in a cup, and we measure how hydrated they are.
We've got some cups in front of us right now. It is kind of a spectrum of where we want to be and where we are?
Yes, yeah, exactly. So these are kind of the colors you might expect to happen naturally. Obviously, some of them being on this far end, you do not want to be that dehydrated. That is a clear sign that you want to take in more fluids kind of right away. Whereas a goal will be more closer to the other end of this color.
I did not take the sample, by the way. They did ask if I wanted to, but I was like, that's not something I'm going to add to the 2026 bucket list. On our next segment, we're going to answer the question, is it pee?
Thank you, Ainsley. Manitoba Hydro is beefing up security at its Portage Avenue headquarters. A Hydro spokesperson tells CTV News it's hiring institutional safety officers to be stationed at 360 Portage Avenue and other facilities. The move comes after a worker was attacked at Manitoba Hydro Place last week. The incident prompted Hydro to restrict public access to the building, and it remains under lockdown. The Crown Corporation says 3 safety officers will start working on site next week. Hydro is also working with Manitoba Justice to expand the program. The spokesperson notes the plan was in the works prior to the incident. The province upgraded regulations last month to expand where safety officers could be stationed. Prior to that, they were only stationed at hospitals and post-secondary institutions. We're learning more about a propane explosion at a facility in the RM of Taché, which injured 3 people. A provincial spokesperson now confirms the incident last Thursday happened at Prairie Propane in Saint Geneviève, and all the injured people were workers. They say Manitoba Workplace Safety and Health issued the business 2 stop work orders and an improvement order related to propane service and maintenance work and the use of a forklift. They add an investigation is ongoing. Prairie Propane hasn't responded to a request for comment. The explosion sent 2 people to hospital, including one who was flown by Stars Air Ambulance, while a 3rd person was treated at the scene and released. The Guthrie family has made another plea for the safe return of their mother.
Whoever is out there holding our mother, we want to hear from you. We haven't heard anything directly. We need you to reach out, and we need a way to communicate with you so we can move forward.
This new plea is from Nancy Guthrie's son. Here's where things stand so far this morning. Authorities are still uncertain if alleged ransom notes sent to the Guthrie family are real. Officials say there have been no additional contacts since these purported ransom notes were sent out. Investigations have also now confirmed blood found on Nancy Guthrie's porch does belong to her, and a front door camera is missing. There's now a $50,000 reward for information leading to a safe return. Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 70th birthday to the greatest Graham around. Love your family. Happy and blessed birthday, Patrick. Love from your family. Happy 11th birthday, Kieran. Love mom, dad, Logan, Dylan, Dash, and Tommy. Happy 3rd birthday, Luna. Love grand-mère, grandpa, family, and friends. Happy 4th birthday, Britton. Lots of love from Grandma Judy and Uncle Jeff. Happy 63rd birthday, Vernon. Love Kathy, Alex, and Melanie. Happy 50th birthday to husband Baba. Love from your kids and your darling wife, Jumoke. Happy 13th birthday, Chase. Love mom, dad, and Carter. Happy sweet 16, Josie. Love from your family. Happy 40th birthday, Dawn. Love and best wishes from Rem, Shay, Ronan, and Rohan. Happy 9th birthday, Quinn and Avery. Love mom, dad, and Bluey. Happy birthday, Cadence. Love your dad, mom, sister, and brother. Happy 8th birthday, Reagan. Love from your family. And a happy 85th birthday to Harold. Love from Nadia, Johnny, Teresa, Vaughn, Bonnie, Tom, Maya, and Alexander. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
All right, we're going to notice some cooler temperatures today. Our warmest temperature was -5. Now, that was just after midnight this morning. It has been dropping off throughout the day today, and we're going to be dropping below seasonal. Right now, or pardon me, normals would be -10. Last year, -11.6, so we're very much on par with what is normal for this time of year. The record of 5 degrees, that is not anywhere in our near future, even though it will be warming up for the weekend. We've got nothing record-breaking to talk about in the days ahead. What we will notice today, though, is a big change up from those balmy conditions yesterday, as these temperatures have dropped off over the course of the morning and will continue to fall throughout the day. I mentioned -5 was our temperature just after midnight. Well, now we're sitting at -13, and it feels like -23 with a 28K wind out of the north-northeast. The pressure rising, the humidity sitting at 73%. The sky is looking gorgeous, though, pinkish hue to the clouds as the sun is just beginning to rise now, and that'll be the case throughout the day today. These clouds clearing out, plenty of sunshine expected, so it will be a much brighter day than yesterday, but nowhere near as balmy. These temperatures, as I mentioned, will be cooling as the day goes on and ending up below seasonal. In these mid to high minus teens is where we're headed later on this afternoon. But a change up for the weekend, both with the conditions and the temperatures. Heavier clouds will be back in for the weekend itself. Mercury on the rise, but both throughout the day today and throughout the day tomorrow, the winds will be increasing.
Super Bowl 60 on TSN and CTV. Seahawks, Patriots, Darnold versus May. Wow. Live in Santa Clara, California, with the Apple Music Super Bowl halftime show featuring Bad Bunny.
That's a little nasty right there. You deserve to dance.
Super Bowl 60. Seahawks, Patriots. Sunday, February 8th on TSN, CTV, and Crave. Sanchez.
The Seattle Seahawks are facing the New England Patriots this Sunday at Super Bowl 60 at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara, California. TSN's football insider Dave Naylor joins us now from California to preview the big game. Good morning, Dave.
Good morning.
Thanks for being with us. Now tell us about the vibe there right now in Santa Clara. How's it feeling?
I got to be honest, this is my 18th Super Bowl, and the vibe is not what I normally experience. Even like this is Friday morning, right? So a lot of times to truly measure the vibe, you kind of have to experience the weekend and come out the other side of it. But I would say by Thursday night, you usually have a pretty good sense that the Super Bowl is in town, that the fans have arrived, and you kind of feel that buzz out there. Haven't felt a lot of that, and I think a lot of it has to do with the geography here. The Bay Area hosting the Super Bowl. The game is in Santa Clara, where the stadium is. You've got teams in San Jose. You've got a lot of the media and other things constructed around San Francisco, where we're staying. So it does not, it's the opposite of the New Orleans Super Bowl, where everything is kind of contained within about a 5-mile square district. I walked to the Super Bowl game from my hotel last year. I walked to the player availabilities during the week. You could sense the Super Bowl at every turn in the city. That is not the case out here this year.
Okay, so what kind of action can fans expect to see on Sunday?
Well, there's all kinds of different ways that you can look at this game, and the way that I'm kind of looking at it is the best defense from the regular season in the National Football League, which was Seattle. They gave up the fewest points of any team, against the best defense from the playoffs. And the New England Patriots have given up just 26 points. Their defense has been historically great on this path. Now, they've played some teams that have been, via injuries, kind of declawed. So there's a skepticism about the level that the Patriots defense has played through these playoffs. And I know fans get a lot more excited about offense than they do defense, but those are kind of the calling cards of these two teams. As I say, Seattle #1 in the regular season, New England #1 in the playoffs. And Drake May, who did not win the NFL's most valuable player, the quarterback for New England, and he was a finalist for it, he has not played like Drake May did during the regular season. So I think there's a lot of curiosity about whether the Patriots can kind of get their offense on track. They've won it with defense defense so far, but yeah, I think that's the intrigue for me is, which team defensively can dominate on Sunday, because they've both proven they're capable of doing that.
Okay, well, we got to talk about the halftime show, and it's getting a lot of attention this year, of course, with Bad Bunny. It's quite controversial for some, and some are excited about it. What do you think is happening with that?
Well, I think one of the things the National Football League's trying to do, just as an overall business strategy, is expand its reach beyond North America. And you see the NFL announced a number of international games here again this week. This has become a big thing. They keep adding to the schedule. And I think Bad Bunny, as he's a Puerto Rican with American citizenship, but he's also an international superstar. I believe the most streamed musician in the world right now. So, what I think the NFL is looking for is people that wouldn't necessarily watch the Super Bowl will tune in for Bad Bunny, and thus will maybe stay around for the second half, or those kinds of things. They're trying to get the global reach of the league sort of, further and elevated to a bigger level. Now, nothing happens in the United States right now without there being a flip side to that. Of course, there is an alternative halftime show, which is featuring Kid Rock, which is going to be politically very different than maybe. And when I say politically, Bad Bunny spoke out against ICE at the recent Grammys. There's some speculation, will he say something from the stage of the Super Bowl? So the two Americas that we've all become very familiar with are kind of playing out on this Super Bowl halftime show.
Well, I'll be watching Bad Bunny. Thank you so much, Dave, for your time today.
Hello, Jermaine Franklin inside the TSN Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Thursday. For it, we're going to Buffalo. Pens, Sabres. Anthony Mantha at the side of the net with a beautiful between-the-legs pass to Avery Hayes, and he goes upstairs on Alex Lyon. What a crazy goal. It's outstanding. It's Hayes' first NHL game, first NHL period, and already a second goal. What a way to start your career, not to mention he's on the same line as Sidney Crosby. That's your must-see moment from Thursday. And today on TSN, Milano Cortina 2026 opening ceremony. Coverage begins at 1:30 p.m. Eastern. That's all from the Sports Center newsroom. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
It's Friday, February the 6th. Guilty verdict. The man accused in a January 2024 St. James homicide now awaits sentencing as the victim's family speaks out. Auto strategy. Why Ottawa is gearing down from a firm mandate requiring electric vehicles toward a softer approach involving financial incentives. And determined dogs. The competition hasn't started yet, but this year's Puppy Bowl, now in its 22nd year, is already a record breaker. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on your Friday. The weekend is here. And, of course, Super Bowl is happening on Sunday. And if you're hosting a Super Bowl party, we have ideas for how.
We have snacks in the studio, and the energy is high.
Yes. So we're going to tell you what, kind of think outside the box when it comes to serving up some really great snacks during the Super Bowl. And we also have flowers that will last longer than a week. So, of course, Valentine's Day is just around the corner as well. But really beautiful outside right now.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to see a lot more sunshine today than what we perhaps saw yesterday. In fact, look at that. How stunning. You can't not smile when you're looking at a morning as gorgeous as this. Now, that smile might freeze to your face. Just keep that in mind. It will be cold. Colder than it's been. I mean, yesterday was so beautiful and balmy. Minus 13 is where we're now sitting, and it feels like minus 23 with a 28K wind out of the north-northeast. The pressure rising. The humidity sitting at 73%. But honestly, that sunshine, you step outside, you're like, what a great day to be alive, right? I know. I get really excited about seeing that kind of beauty this time of morning. It really does feel like such a gift. Well, as the day goes on, we're going to see increasing amounts of sunshine, so things will certainly be looking good. Will it feel as good as yesterday? Maybe not. I mean, yesterday was messy and slushy and all of that, but it felt so pleasant, almost spring-like when you stepped outside. It doesn't feel like spring this morning. I'll give you that heads up right now. So throw those extra layers on, grab the sunglasses before you head out. It will stay beautiful and bright as these clouds clouds continue to clear. Now, they might build somewhat along the western border, but for eastern Manitoba, it's going to stay with plenty of sunshine. Over the weekend, though, that's when things will change and the heavier clouds moving in overnight, lasting throughout tomorrow with some flurries through central and northern Manitoba. That'll take you through Saturday. We could be seeing a bit of that activity rolling in by Sunday, the possibility of some showers, but we're also seeing these changing colors again. Temperatures will be warming up for the weekend. It's going to be mild, not just for the weekend, but all throughout next week. So today it will only cool down, temperature dropping to about -16. Enjoy the sunshine, though. Make the most of it, because we won't be seeing much sunshine for several days ahead. And thank you to Mason. What a cool job you've done creating this wolf at night. I love your art. Please keep sending it to us to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
The Weather Art of the Day is brought to you by 103.1 Virgin Radio.
Mounties are still searching for a suspect after a dangerous person alert lit up cell phones across the province Thursday morning. It was triggered after a woman was abducted from a northern First Nation. Cross Lake RCMP officers were called to a home in Pimicikamak Cree Nation around 5:40 Thursday morning. Police allege 39-year-old Joshua Papenikis entered the home and attacked a resident with a hammer before abducting 20-year-old Rianne Thomas at knife point. Police confirmed Papenikis and Thomas are known to each other and consider this to be an act of intimate partner violence, adding Thomas is in immediate danger. Additional officers from Winnipeg are assisting in the search, going door to door in the community. While the search is focused in the Pimicikamak area, police say it is possible Papenikis has fled the area. Mounties warn Papenikis is likely armed and dangerous and should not be approached. Anyone who sees him or Thomas is asked to call RCMP at 204-676-2600. It took more than 2 years, but the family of a Winnipeg restaurant owner killed following a violent confrontation outside his Portage Avenue restaurant says justice has been served. On Thursday, a judge handed down a guilty verdict for the killing of Kyriakis Voyajakis.
Today, the courts finally stood up for a family, finally made a decision that was right in my mind, in my heart.
In her decision, Justice Bond says surveillance video obtained from the Cork and Flame restaurant showing the 4.5-minute altercation between the two men was the primary piece of evidence in the case. She says Voyajakis started the altercation, which turned into a fist fight. By the end of the footage, Voyajakis was seen lying on the ground while Curtis Ross Dalabozic continued to beat him. Dalabozic's lawyer declined to comment on the decision, saying the matter is still before the courts. Sentencing is expected to begin sometime in April. Canada has shifted its focus when it comes to the auto industry with new emission standards and an EV rebate.
This puts us on a path to greater electrification while giving industry the flexibility it needs during a very difficult time.
The new 5-year, $0.3 billion EV affordability program will be available to consumers as of February the 16th. What does that mean for you? Well, you could get a rebate of up to $5,000 for fully electric vehicles and up to $2,500 for plug-in hybrid models. This will apply to cars coming from countries Canada has a free trade deal with, and that costs less than $50,000. So this won't apply to Chinese EVs. The EV sales mandate is being replaced with new emission standards for future models, plus $1.5 billion is being promised to build up Canada's roadside charging network. A record-breaking 150 dogs from shelters littered across the U.S. and the British Virgin Islands will compete in the 22nd annual Puppy Bowl on Super Bowl Sunday.
Down at the fluff end zone, Oscar is, well, I'm not sure what he's doing.
The annual event aims to promote pet adoption with adoption stories intertwined with a little friendly competition. And new this year will be a special halftime exhibition game featuring 15 senior dogs, Team Oldies versus Team Goldies. Love this so much. Here's a look at what's happening right now on Osborne Street. It looks like things are moving quite well over here, and it's a smooth drive so far this morning. If you see any issues out there, though, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
We're talking about the Winter Olympics and the Manitoba connections to many athletes that are heading there, but also hydration and the importance of hydration. Good morning.
Good morning. And when you talk about hydration, you might think, okay, drink more water. And while that might be the case, there are other ways to get in our hydration as well. I'm once again joined by Jory and Jeremy. Thank you so much for being here. Now, as a registered dietitian, what are some ways that we can get some hydration in our lives?
Yeah, so typically we want water as our base, that's for sure. But sometimes water isn't enough. And when we're looking at our Olympic level athletes, or even someone that's training for a marathon, or they're out enjoying Spring Hill, that cold, dry environment, you may need something more than just water, especially if you're not eating a lot in that time frame. It's not easy to eat while you're exercising. I don't know if you've tried. But so there are different ways that can incorporate. So in your 8 to 10 cups of fluid a day, that could include things like, it might be a little shocker, but coffee and tea are some options within limits, right? So usually around 3 to 4 cups, and by cups I don't mean those big cups, like 8-ounce cups. That would be part of your hydration plan. Maybe you're making a protein shake or a smoothie. That also includes maybe some soup broth. That is included, sport drinks, juice, milk, and of course your water all counts as part of your hydration plan.
And if you want to do a make yourself option, what should people try?
All right, well, here's a potential example. So we have your water as your base. Now, if you want to refuel on carbs, we have some honey that we can add into that. We've got our sodium here, just for those electrolytes, and just some lemon juice for, flavor.
And literally, it's just a pinch of salt.
Just a pinch.
Okay. Just a pinch.
So it's not going to be ultra salty?
No.
Okay.
It's enough to get those electrolytes.
Okay. And then the hope, before we're out of time, is that you're going to look nice and regular.
Exactly. Yes. So these are all a whole bunch of strategies that you can use so that you can stay hydrated and maintain that electrolyte balance so that, yes, you can pee at the appropriate color.
Perfect. Back to you. Be just like an Olympian. Pee just like an Olympian.
There you go. Thank you, Ainsley. Most people who need a mortgage or loan will go to a bank, but those with bad credit might seek the services of a private lender. However, they often charge higher interest rates and carry greater risk. CTV's Pat Foran has more.
It was a relief. It was financial freedom, I thought.
Deanna Johnson of Whitby is a single parent with 3 boys. She has a full-time job and works part-time to pay the bills. That's why she was interested when she heard she could earn income providing loans.
I found out about private lending through social media, Instagram Reels, how to get like a second income to work for you.
Johnson went to her bank and took out a line of credit for $150,000. She found a company to loan out the funds and says the first year went great. She received interest payments of $3,000 each month.
It was a financial relief, some wiggle room.
But Johnson says last year the payments started to be late and then they stopped completely. In June, she asked for her funds to be returned. She's been trying to get her money back for the past 7 months without success.
I would like my money back, my $150,000.
Johnson gave the funds to Deneen Griffith of Unifocus Investments. When CTV News contacted Griffith, she said, "We are currently conducting a full internal review with the third-party company involved. Our priority is protecting our clients and ensuring all appropriate steps are taken."
Just like anything in the world, the higher the interest rate you're being offered, the bigger the risk.
Mark Ting is a financial expert who says people who need private loans have usually been turned down by banks and other traditional lenders. He says that makes it risky, and anyone considering private lending should be extremely cautious.
I would not be comfortable doing that myself, and I probably wouldn't be recommending anybody doing that unless they're extremely wealthy on their own and they could afford to lose that $150,000.
Johnson says she is now stressed and frustrated and worries the $150,000 she lent out could be gone for good.
I feel like I'm back to square one where I started, and it's really will impact my family.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
All right, it's looking beautiful, isn't it, the way the sun shines over the city right now as we look through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. And it is going to look good today across the province, sunshine. It's going to be a lot colder, though, than the temperatures that we experienced yesterday. I know a little taste of spring almost, maybe too mild for a lot of folks, especially those of you trying to enjoy your winter-like activities. Well, today, you're going to get the cold weather back again, so no worries there, and it will be sunny. Taking a look at these numbers, and you can see how far we've fallen. In fact, -5 is where we were sitting just after midnight, and we're now down to -14. That's almost a 10-degree drop just over the course of the morning, and we'll still lose another few another few degrees, pardon me, throughout the rest of the day today. Brandon sitting at -11 right now, -15 in Swan River. You can look and see further up into northern Manitoba where it's clearer yet. It's colder, low to high -20s, and then pushing up into those -30s. And all of that is before we're factoring in any sort of a wind. That breeze on top of it all is making it feel in the -40s up in the far northeast. Staying in those low -30s, winds not having too much impact. But here in Winnipeg, feeling like -25, you'll want those layers on today. And as the day goes on, again, increasing amounts of sunshine. It'll look beautiful and bright, but it will get colder yet. -15 as kids get into the classroom. -16 is where we'll probably hold steady then through the rest of the afternoon, but dropping another couple degrees overnight down to -18. Heavier clouds move in for the weekend. A change up in both the conditions and the temperatures. Mercury will be on the rise and will stay above seasonal throughout most of next week. We're taking a break, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Canada's AGT Food and Ingredients is planning to return to the TSX. The company and some of its backers are looking to raise $460 million in an initial public offering. The company, based in Regina, sells packaged foods and was a public company before it was taken private in 2019. Canadian dairy manufacturer Saputo missed revenue estimates in its latest quarter. Quarterly revenue came in at $4.8 billion. That's down from $4.9 billion a year earlier. The company attributed the decline to lower U.S. dairy commodity pricing. Those are your morning business headlines. For BNN Bloomberg, I'm Lindsay Biscaya.
Roses are red, violets are blue, but these flowers die after just a few. A local florist shop specializes in preserved flowers that can last a lot longer, up to 2 years. Eternal Love Florist is offering beautiful, long-lasting bouquets this Valentine's Day. And joining us now from Eternal Love Florist is Han Pham. Good morning, Han.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, you started this business 3 years ago. What brought you down this path?
So I used to dream of being an interior designer.
Okay.
Then I found dried and preserved flowers. That's my passion. So I just combine them, flowers and design. So now I'm a flowers designer.
That is incredible.
So, yeah.
And what makes these better, in your opinion, than fresh flowers?
Like I do love fresh flowers. Yeah, always. It's very beautiful, but I love the dried and preserved flowers in different ways.
Yeah.
So they could last for like 2-3 years or more.
Wow.
With proper care, like avoid direct sunlight and at a dry place at your home, so it could last for years.
And what's really unique is, and not only are you selling these for Valentine's Day, but you're also selling many bouquets for weddings. Tell us about that.
Yes. Yeah, we have done like 30 to 40 weddings in the past 3 years.
Wow.
So yeah, because the brides, they always want something unique, last longer than others, but it's still colorful, right?
Yeah,
yeah. It's not only neutral colors, but they have many colors, right?
Incredible. Okay, so you brought many beautiful bouquets here. Tell us a little bit about what we're seeing over here.
So these are our best sellers, like the preserved rose. Yeah, with combined with other dried flowers. Yeah, this is our best sellers. If you could just hold it
up so we could get a real, look at that. It's just stunning. Look at the pop of color there too.
Yeah, it looks like reals, right?
Yes, those are real roses, but they're dried.
They are dried and preserved, so they could last for years.
Okay, and what else do you have in there?
I have like pampas and straw flowers and eucalyptus, but they're all dried.
Right.
Yeah, so they could keep the colors like this for years.
Okay. Yeah. What else do you have here? That's gorgeous.
And,
wow.
Yeah. Some people, they don't like red that much for Valentine, but they could choose the neutral colors like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's also our best sellers.
Okay. Gorgeous.
Yeah. And these are some of our natural dried flowers. We bought our flowers from flower farmer here in Manitoba as well.
Okay,
Yeah.
so these flowers here, for example, these are native to Manitoba, some of them, right?
Some of them, yeah, like the straw flowers, this white, small, tiny one, yeah. From our farmer here in Manitoba.
These are gorgeous. Okay, and then you could also order some of these flowers that are already displayed in a beautiful bowl or a vase as well.
Yes, and it's also available online, so you could shop online directly anytime from now before Valentine.
Okay, and then Valentine's Day, of course, is on Saturday, but it's not too late, right? People can still order these, and what are you asking from them when they make that order?
Yeah, just leave a note when you would like to get it delivered or pick up, so we could get it ready for you.
Oh, that is lovely. Okay, so when they're preserved, they're good to go. You don't have to do anything to maintain them. You, of course, don't have to add water or any of that, which is
no
wonderful.
water at all.
Okay, because that'll ruin them. They're so gorgeous. Thank you so much for bringing them to us. If you want more information on these gorgeous bouquets, we have a link on our website. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much for having me today.
It was fun.
Yeah, thank you.
So beautiful there. Beautiful outside too. I say that as I'm scrambling to get my mitten on. It's cold. Much colder than it was yesterday. Yesterday I was out here and I wasn't even doing up my jacket. There was no need for mittens. It was so beautiful. We pushed up into those plus digits yesterday. We're going to be far from them today. In fact, we dropped off through the course of the morning. Almost 10 degrees now is where we've fallen since midnight. And then we're still going to likely lose another couple degrees throughout the day today. But the sun is shining. Well, somewhat. There are some clouds out here, but even those will continue to clear. The sun is shining. It's just tucked behind some of these clouds. Minus 14 is where we're sitting right now, and it feels like minus 25 with you're factoring in that 29K wind out of the north-northeast. The pressure rising, humidity sitting at 72%. So yeah, the sky will clear almost entirely, and then we'll be just soaking up the sunshine today. But it is going to feel considerably colder than what we experienced yesterday. Yesterday was balmy and messy. My goodness, there was slush, there was everything melting over the course of the afternoon. That's not going to be the case today. Things have, well, they're back to frozen this morning. I can tell you that with where these temperatures are sitting, and likely to lose another couple of degrees. But enjoying the sunshine for one day only, because for the weekend, the heavier clouds will be back, but also so will the mild temperatures. It is going to come with some stronger winds. Now you'll notice those winds increasing both this afternoon out of the north, but then a strong south wind through the weekend, bringing in the warmer temperatures, but some heavier clouds to last. Great day to be out enjoying some of those winter-like activities like the ice fishing out in Minnedosa. Thank you to Annette for sharing this photo. And keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Open late, ready when you are.
If you like loud sounds, big trucks, and the smell of fuel, then the Ram Motorsports Spectacular will bring you all the action you need. The Monster Truck Challenge is coming to the Canada Life Centre for 2 shows tomorrow and Sunday. And joining us now to tell us more is Doug Dennance, the announcer for Ram Motorsports Spectacular. Good morning, Doug.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm well. Thank you so much for joining us. This is such a huge event, so much fun for the whole family. Tell us what to expect.
Well, you know, when you talk about family, it very much is like that for us. You know, it's like a family reunion in a different city. And Winnipeg, we have a soft spot for, pardon me, because it'll be a big show. And we've got, you know, 7 monster trucks and all that sort of thing. But the thing that's a whole lot of fun that I always love is the fact of the pit party. You know, when you bring kids down to the floor to see monster trucks up close and in person, it's a whole different experience. And I love the arena. I love Canada Life Centre because I can see the people. I can see these kids react in the show, but I can also get a chance to meet them and say hi at the pit party.
That is so amazing. Not only monster trucks will be there, though, right? There's going to be all kinds of high-flying freestyle jumping happening. Tell us what people can expect from the show.
Well, you know, everybody comes to see monster trucks, and there's 7 of them there. You know, huge trucks and a bunch of Canadian guys as well, including the 5-time former champion Marvin Anderson, which is kind of a cool thing. But there is some other elements, and one of them, well, let me tell you a little bit about mini monsters, or what are called super modified mini monsters. There's a kid named Boomer Sackman, Dakota Boomer Sackman, who has been amazing over this last year in terms of competition. So this year we decided, well, we're going to try to get them a little different competition. So we got a lady who has 3 years of stock car experience, a mechanic, 2 degrees, you know, this kind of thing. But the more important thing for him is it's his mom. So you can imagine how this plays out. Wow. And of course, as you mentioned, freestyle motocross. 3 of the top riders anywhere, including a couple of Canadians and one American guy who is extraordinary. And you'll see everything you can imagine. Well, if you've never seen freestyle motocross, a 250-pound dirt bike flying 30 feet in the air, pulling out the most amazing tricks you've ever seen, like backflips. You got to see that one live.
Wow, I could just imagine it. But we're looking at video right now. You see a lot of dirt inside Canada Life Centre. It takes a lot to transform the arena into a place where these monster trucks can play, right?
Well, when you're talking about Ram Motorsports Spectacular, it's particularly spectacular for one reason, and I know this will sound kind of strange, but you just mentioned it, and that is that, you know, 1,000 tons of dirt that we're going to end up sculpting into a track inside, you know, Canada Life Centre. But the thing that's amazing with that is that when they do this, it's literally a transformation, as you've said. You may have seen time-lapse videos and so on, and there's one guy who does this all over the place named Jamie Comden, and he works with the equipment and the dirt guys and everything else and sculpts these things, and we call him the Dirt Dog. Well, who knows, maybe at intermission you'll get to see him show off too.
Oh my gosh. And of course there's going to be up close and personal experiences with the monster trucks, the drivers, all kinds of fun to be had this weekend. Doug, thank you for sharing this with us. If you want more information, we have a link on our website. Here's a look outside on Portage Avenue right now. Looks like things are moving well. Starting off this Friday morning, we're going to take a break. We'll be right back.
We got blue sky above. It's looking good this morning, minus 14. It feels colder than yesterday. Absolutely. Well, it is colder than yesterday. In fact, it feels like minus 25. That's our wind chill value this morning with a 29K wind out of the north-northeast. The pressure is rising, the humidity sitting at 72%. Now, the sky is going to look far more pleasant than yesterday. Yesterday, it did have that overcast look. There was even a little bit of light precipitation at times in liquid form. It rained at some points yesterday. We're not going to be seeing anything but increasing amounts of sunshine today because the last of the clouds will be clearing out. It's going to look beautiful and bright, but you've got to throw those extra layers on because today will be a whole lot colder than those balmy, beautiful temperatures of yesterday. We pushed up into the plus digits, and we're far from that already. We've dropped over the course of the morning from -5 just after midnight. We're now down to, what did I say our current temperature was? I forgot already. I think it's minus 14 right now. Anyway, we'll lose another couple of degrees to about minus 16 this afternoon, and then even another couple of degrees into the overnight hours down to minus 18. And the winds, they'll be an issue through the afternoon out of the north, then shifting out of the south overnight. But those winds will still stay strong and still with those strong winds tomorrow, but the mercury will be on the rise. Heavier clouds are going to be moving back in for tomorrow, though, and lasting throughout the weekend. And in fact, more than clouds, we could be seeing a little bit of scattered precipitation through Sunday, and maybe again in that mixed form because of where these temperatures are headed, just barely below the freezing mark. Maybe too mild to be able to really enjoy some of your wintertime activities, but the heavier clouds will last till the early part of next week, and then we're going to get the sunshine back with those mild and above seasonal temperatures lingering.
Fire crews were called out to a blaze in the William White neighborhood this morning. The blaze in a home in the 400 block of Magnus Avenue was first reported just before 5:30 a.m. No word yet on whether there were any injuries. And firefighting operations are disrupting traffic in the Chalmers neighborhood on Nairn Avenue. The city reports the eastbound curb lane on Nairn is blocked by fire vehicles between Allen Street and Watt Street. Traffic should keep to the left to pass. CTV News has reached out to the city for more information on both the Magnus and Nairn incidents. Statistics Canada says the economy shed 25,000 jobs in the first month of the year, but a drop in the number of people looking for work drove the unemployment rate down to 6.5%. The agency says January's job losses largely came from the private sector and part-time work and were concentrated among women aged 25 to 54. StatsCan says the manufacturing sector faced a loss of 28,000 positions last month and is down some 51,000 jobs from a year earlier. The jobless rate for January in Manitoba was 6.3%. A Winnipeg officer who was at the scene of the fatal police shooting of a 16-year-old First Nations girl thought his life was in danger. Constable Serge Sylvestre told an inquest into the death of Aisha Hudson he was standing near the stolen Jeep she was driving when his partner fired the first shot. Sylvestre says he tried to apprehend the driver, but feared he would be hit when the vehicle started moving backward in his direction. Hudson was killed in 2020 after the vehicle she was driving was involved in a liquor store robbery and police chase. The inquest, which started Monday, is looking at whether systemic racism played a role in the death and whether the use of force was appropriate. A plan to create an all-season road linking 3 Northern First Nations communities is one step closer to reality. An assessment by the federal government has concluded the proposed 141-kilometer road linking Manto Sipi Cree Nation, Bonnie Bonnie B Cree Nation, and God's Lake First Nation is not likely to significantly disrupt the environment. That's if the project properly follows mitigation guidelines. Some of those measures include minimizing emissions and noise, managing any changes to water quality, and protecting species such as birds and fish. The feds note the project would be subject to oversight, and any proposed changes would need to be submitted and reviewed. 2 sisters have taken charge of the West Edmonton Mall.
I want this one. Okay, I want this one.
The 9-year-old twins have been elected mayors of the mall. They were picked in part because of their medical histories with Edmonton's Stollery Children's Hospital. Plus, their family has done the work through the years helping raise money for the hospital foundation. If you were wondering, being mayor of the mall has some great perks, including a shopping spree and a sleepover at the Fantasyland Hotel. A breakthrough in the fight against ovarian cancer, a new BC-led surgical innovation that could cut the risk significantly. CTV's Dimitra Maragos has more on the promising approach that could impact the future of the disease.
A major development in ovarian cancer prevention.
We're all actually quite astounded.
This research is important because it will save women's lives.
Findings from the new study, led by a BC-based international collaboration called the Ovarian Cancer Observatory, show opportunistic salpingectomy, or OS, a procedure invented in BC which removes the fallopian tubes while keeping a person's ovaries will
reduce their risk of developing ovarian cancer by 80%.
Researchers reviewed more than 85,000 BC surgical records that spanned more than a decade and found people who had OS were far less likely to develop the deadliest form of ovarian cancer.
Preventing it from happening in the first place saves lives.
Dr. Huntsman explains.
By removing the fallopian tubes and leaving the ovaries behind, we get this cancer reduction benefit, but without all of those challenges.
A newfound hope against this deadly cancer.
Ovarian cancer is the 5th leading cause of death in women.
Data from UBC shows ovarian cancer is the most lethal gynecological cancer. Approximately 3,100 Canadians are diagnosed with the disease each year. Dr. Hanley says if patients are looking to get it done,
it's entirely based around having another surgical opportunity to remove the fallopian tubes and to reduce ovarian cancer risk.
But adds,
right now working with all of the general surgeons in the province, and they are beginning to offer this during general surgery as well.
Dimitra Maragos, CTV News, Vancouver.
Here's a look at the current traffic situation now on Donald Street. Looks like things are moving well in this part of the city. If you have any traffic tips to share with us, please send us a text. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.29. The provincial average is $1.23. In the city, the average is slightly higher at $1.24. And the lowest price in Winnipeg is $1.12. All this information is on gasbuddy.com. For our question of the day, we wanted to know for Super Bowl 60, it being this Sunday, what is your favorite Super Bowl snack? Chicken wings and nachos for Kathy. Runza, a bread pocket stuffed with ground beef, cabbage, onions, and spices, says Dave. Bill says we love nachos and manwich as a dip. Go Seahawks. Marlene likes nacho and cheese, finger food, and Rice Krispie squares. Susan would eat pizza and barbecue ribs. The favorite Super Bowl snack for your morning viewer is hot wings, maple venison medallions, washed down with a cold brew. And for Henry, it's chicken wings, of course. Thank you so much for your responses. Let's go now to Ainsley McPhail. A lot of people will be eating snacks watching the Winter Olympics kick off this evening. Good morning.
Yeah, and of course, we're cheering on our local heroes, Manitobans. There's 5 of them representing this province, and one was actually just added, Seth Jarvis. He was actually supposed to be going to Mexico, and when asked where he was when the golden goal happened, he said he was in Winnipeg at a birthday party, and he was wearing an old school Bombers shirt. I am now joined by Trevor Bune, who is the CEO of Hockey Manitoba. When you hear that story, how does it make you feel?
I mean, like every Manitoban, you remember where you were when that golden goal was scored, and I'm sure for him, getting the news yesterday, I'd trade a spot in the Olympics for a short trip to Mexico any day of the week.
Absolutely. It's not just about him, though. It's the men and women who have put in blood, sweat, tears, and money over time for this to really happen at the end of the day.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, hockey here in Manitoba is really about a community. The parents of players, the volunteers, the coaches, and the system behind that really makes the opportunity for every Manitoban to take part. And, you know, the Olympians, they're an aspiration for everybody, but the everyday system is what makes it possible for every player.
Mm-hmm. And these communities, too, being able to watch the games, knowing that, oh, I used to babysit that girl or that guy, right? What does it mean for these small communities who have built these individuals from the ground up?
Yeah, you know, I think the community will feel pride not just for that player, but for their community. They represent everyone in that community who had a part in the game. Hockey is not an individual sport. It's a team sport, and there are a lot of people behind every single player, whether they make it to the Olympics or they're playing or practicing tonight in one of the 100 games and practices that are going to happen today in Manitoba.
Thank you so much. Go Canada, go Manitoba. We'll be watching over the next couple weeks.
We will be indeed. Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. The hood is up, the gloves are on. It's a little chilly this morning.
It definitely is a little bit chilly this morning. Yeah, I did need to put the hood up, and that's because the winds, I'm noticing them this morning, and you will likely notice them as well. Not just bringing the bite, but increasing throughout the course of the day. Although what's also going to be increasing is the amount of sunshine that we're seeing. We do still have a few heavier clouds hanging over us right now, but they'll be clearing as the day goes on. It's minus 14, so those temperatures have certainly dropped off even just over the course of the morning. It was minus 5 just after midnight, and we've been watching those temperatures plummet so far, and we'll drop yet another couple degrees into the afternoon. You add that wind, it's 29 clicks out of the north-northeast, and minus 14 then as a result of the wind feels like minus 25. Pressure is rising, humidity sitting at 72%. But yeah, a beautiful looking day, a bright blue sky above. We didn't get to enjoy that sunshine yesterday, although we did enjoy those really pleasant temperatures. Plus digits yesterday, it was so balmy. It was also incredibly messy, and at least that won't be the case today. Things, they're back to frozen solid again, and these temperatures, like I said, will continue to drop a couple degrees through the afternoon, but then rising again for the weekend. Now, while today we will enjoy the sunshine and increasing amounts as the clouds clear, those clouds will be moving back in overnight, sticking around throughout the weekend. We could even see a little bit of scattered precipitation and even possibly in mixed or liquid form, because over the course of the weekend those temperatures will be back on the rise again. It'll remain then above seasonal, not just through the weekend, but well into the middle of next week, though several days of clouds above after today's sunshine. So enjoy it while it lasts. We're taking a break. We'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
Have a news tip? When you see news happening, let CTV News Winnipeg know. Text your tips, pictures, and videos to 10400. That's 10400. Message and data rates may apply.
A Canadian dog is making millions of fans around the world. It's because he's proving there's more to being a good dog than being good looking. CTV's Adam Sawatsky has more.
Amanda Richter will always remember that day she noticed this face you can't forget.
He looks just like a Picasso painting. Everything's out of place. One eye's big, one's little. His nose is twisted.
She contacted the animal shelter that posted the picture right away, and after meeting Brody, fell in love even faster.
The cuteness and feeling sorry for him, it was just this massive amount of emotions.
Staff at the shelter told Amanda that the dog's deformity was caused by his mom, who bit him when he was 2 weeks old, leaving Brody's jaw partially shut and one eye blind.
But he has such a zest for life. He loves everyone and everything, and he's just happy-go-lucky all the time.
After adopting him, just hours after meeting him, other people who'd seen his picture asked the shelter for updates. So Amanda started posting pictures of Brody online.
Just him being a goofball, just being himself.
Just being Brody has inspired almost 2 million people to follow him on social media, countless others to create all sorts of art inspired by him, and at least one person to get a tattoo of the canine on their calf.
I couldn't believe that he was blowing up the way he was. He has a cult following almost. It's insane.
Even more unimaginable, Amber says, was being told about a similar-looking dog at a shelter in Texas, adopting the pup named Raven and enlisting a team of volunteers to transport her to BC.
They're the best of friends now. They are just like yin and yang. They love each other so much. It's pretty cute.
Well, Brody and Raven have since been profiled in print around the world, from the UK's Sun to DC's Washington Post, plus an appearance in People magazine. Amanda says she's not sharing pictures of her pups to generate publicity. Her goal is to inspire empathy.
It's saved my faith in humanity, just knowing that people are kind, can look past differences, and love an animal who might not be perfect.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Cowichan Lake.
Sunday is the Super Bowl, where the Seattle Seahawks face the New England Patriots. And if you're hosting a gathering for the big game, the food really needs to score some big points. Joining us now with advice on how to kick off a win with your Super Bowl menu are Megan McMaster and Candace Tapley from Peckish Charcuterie and Grazing. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Now, when I think about Super Bowl or hosting a party, I think the favorites, right?
Sure.
There's the wings, there's chili, there's sliders, those kinds of things. It's good to think outside the box once in a while. Okay, you've done that today.
Yes.
Tell us what inspired you here.
Sure. So one of the things that we love to do is to make sure that it's easy for you to host. So everything that we have here today can be made ahead of time, put in your fridge, and then when you're ready to serve, it can be brought out. And this way you can kind of think ahead to have a lot of variations, lots of different tastes, and you can kind of talk about different dietary restrictions and things like that as well when you're thinking about your crowd.
Okay, so let's start off on this side of the table, because you have these lovely sandwiches made with croissant. Tell us what we're seeing here.
So we have 3 different types of sandwiches. We have a spicy turkey, a spicy salami, a pesto turkey, and then we have a caprese option, which is our vegetarian option. They are all delicious.
They look, they smell delicious too. And then of course, this is always a must-have.
Yes.
You need cheeses, you need meat, and you need pickles.
Yes, you need all the crowd favorites, so we really focus on our boards, all the crowd favorites. So when people come over, they know they can get a bunch of different things off of this platter.
Yeah.
So we've got spicy Havarti cheese, we've got some dill pickles, we've got a queso here. A crowd favorite is this black pepper cheddar that we do all the time. So along with that, we've got some spicy meats, we've got garlic kubasa, some prosciutto. So there's lots of different tastes, so you can mix and match spicy, sweet, salty, all of the favorites.
I love that. And I love the little mini footballs. Where did you get those from?
They're so cute, aren't they?
Yeah.
We love to personalize the boards and have them be on theme. So you can see we've got the Super Bowl LX down there in our cheese cutouts. We call them cheesy messages. So we put those there. And then we like to put the little footballs in, our Go Team foam fingers. So it's a really cute way to kind of add some jazz to your event.
And with the cheese that are spelled out in letters there, did you do this with a knife, or what did you use to make this?
It's like an icing cutout that you would use for lettering.
What a great idea. Okay. I'm a huge candy person, and you have every candy imaginable. Tell us about this.
This is just, again,
a mixture of your candies. You're going to have chocolate, you're going to have sweet, you're going to have sour, to hold me back from those nerds, because those are delicious. Bubble gum, just a little bit of everything.
Why is this a hit at parties?
It's such a nice surprise. Like, it just comes out of nowhere that you might get, as you said, chili, wings, all that stuff, but you get a candy poured out. I think it like brings the kid out and everyone that you want to pick your favorites.
Really it's amazing. Okay, what else do you have here? I mean, some people are maybe trying to think about dietary restrictions as well. So what do you need to consider with that?
Well, this is a very safe vegetarian option.
There you go.
When you have a veggie tray. We do ours with ranch, but really make it your own. Do whatever you want. Add hummus. Yeah, different textures and options there as well. We opt for carrots, celery, peas, and everything you see on top.
But that's an easy way to make it vegan as well. So you can again have some things that will just work regardless of who shows up to your event.
You also have these little great football popcorn twists going on here, which is a great theme for Super Bowl.
Sure.
Valentine's Day is just around the corner. What do you want people to think about with that?
Yes, Valentine's Day. This is your warning. Consider it your warning. We have our Valentine's Day collection is live on our website for pickup and delivery options for that whole Valentine's weekend. So find us on peckishwinnipeg.com.
Okay, and again, let's take a last look. Look at how beautiful this is. Such a beautiful presentation if you're looking to really impress your guests. Thank you so much for sharing this with us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Oh my goodness, never mind the Super Bowl. I'm just there for the snacks. Okay, outside this morning, it is a little bit cold, minus 14 at the moment, and it feels like minus 25. That's once you're factoring in the wind. You're going to notice that breeze. It's already up to 29 kilometers per hour out of the north-northeast. The pressure rising and the humidity sitting at 72%. So the winds are already at 29 clicks. They'll likely get stronger today. So it's actually going to add not just an additional bite. These temperatures will be dropping over the course of the day. So it will be getting cooler yet, but it's also going to get brighter. These clouds clearing out. Plenty of sunshine, at least for today. That will change for the weekend. So with the sunshine, temperatures falling to about minus 16 this afternoon, dropping a little more overnight down to minus 18. But then for the weekend, and in fact, well beyond, these mild temperatures are coming back. Not quite the plus digits that we got to yesterday, but very, very close. Heavier clouds will move in, maybe some precipitation, possibly in mixed form, as we're climbing just below freezing on Sunday, and then staying there with those well below seasonal temperatures. By the middle of next week, we might even get some sunshine back again. We are going to be coming back again. We're just taking a quick break, but we'll be here with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, we're going to send you off into the weekend, but first we're going to show you some fun video. We kick things off with a culture shock for these white rhinos. This week they stepped out into the snow at a zoo in Tennessee. They walked and ran around a little bit, seeming to enjoy it until going back in to warm up. White rhinos have largely lived in southern Africa.
They're like, what are we doing here?
What is this?
Yeah. Who moved me here against my will?
Exactly. The Toronto Zoo's great horned owl, Butters, is providing us with a Super Bowl prediction. Butters is picking the Patriots to beat the Seahawks in the big game on Sunday, and as you saw, he didn't even hesitate about it. He just went straight for it. Owls are known for being quite wise. Sunday will know if his prediction was right. And a record-breaking 150 dogs from shelters littered across the U.S. and the British Virgin Islands will compete in the 22nd annual Puppy Bowl on Super Bowl Sunday.
Out at the fluff end zone, Oscar is, well, I'm not sure what he's doing.
Such cute fur balls. The annual event aims to promote pet adoption with adoption stories intertwined with a little friendly competition. And new this year will be a special halftime exhibition game featuring 15 senior dogs, Team Oldies versus Team Goldies. So cute. Look at these.
Puppy Bowl over Super Bowl any day.
Have a good weekend. See you on Monday.